There's no time.
Lost. Times.
The time is
13
o'clock.
Hey, you guys. Happy Wednesday.
Yep.
I just noticed that it was 420, which I'm sure will make pot smokers very excited. Isn't it like the pot smoking holiday or whatever?
Yeah.
Camp Guy says a new John Wayne Gacy documentary on Netflix is pretty good so far. I'm gonna have to watch that. I haven't even checked Netflix in a while. I'm not really sure what new shit they've added.
I put new shades up in here.
New blinds.
New blinds. They don't have slats. It's a single one that comes down and it's blackout. So that sun's blazing over there, man, on the other side of that, and it's nice and cool and dark in here. I'm gonna replace I'm gonna replace every one of them in this house with that because
it's nice.
It's so much easier on the air conditioner. That air conditioner's not hardly kicking on now.
Well, and another thing too is that I like the way the new blinds don't have all those strings and shit like that hanging down, because I don't like Pokey. I don't want Pokey getting tangled in them and shit.
It's gonna be good. So I'm gonna get that hooked up. Man, some weird shit happened with this fucking house. Out of the blue, I get a letter. I didn't say anything about it because I didn't have all the information. Get a letter from the insurance company saying we're dropping your insurance because your roof isn't up to spec and you guys didn't respond and blah, blah, blah. So I called the damn mortgage company. And I said, what the fuck is this, man? This house passed an inspection and blah, 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 blah.
It passed 3 inspections.
Yeah, and now they're dropping me from... And they're like, what the fuck? This is we don't know what's up with that. And turns out the insurance companies in this area, they're all owned by Vanguard and BlackRock, and they're fucking squeezing everybody. If your roof is older than 10 years, they want you to replace your fucking roof shingles. All right? And they even want the same thing for these people that have these big tile roofs that have 50-year guarantees on them. They want them fucking done. So there's gonna be some kind of fight about it. But during that inspection, it said that this roof had at least 3 good years in it. So anyway, mortgage company says, man, don't worry about that shit. Fucking worst case thing that could happen is that the bank will give you their own insurance. It's the same thing. It's just that it doesn't insure anything inside your house, and it doesn't. The rates may not be as well. But then the insurance company is saying, well, we're gonna reconsider. We're gonna give you an extension. Maybe we'll give you an extension because we just moved here.
Yeah, just a few months ago.
Yeah.
Was it 6 months ago?
Yeah.
September, October.
And it went. That inspection only happened about a month ago, 2 months ago, and they said, no, you're good to go. So they're backing up on their own. This is how they did. An insurance company is a company that you pay them every month, and then they ride the risk that something will happen and they lose. But then they try to tweak the laws so they make you take all the risks.
Yeah.
Think that's something? Well, you need our insurance, and you have to fucking fix your house so there's no risk to us. That's not insurance.
Well, yeah, because they have all these loopholes. It's
Loopholes,
that happened this way, so that means we don't have to pay for it.
Yeah.
Medical insurance is the same way.
Yeah.
Maybe that was a pre-existing condition, so we're not going to cover that. Sorry.
So we got to get the governor, man, fucking on that shit. Fucking, there's a lot of shit that fucking those 2 particular companies are doing, waging war on fucking mankind, trying to shut down, trying to kill all the chickens. They're trying to kill all the cows. So you buy their friends Bill Gates' fucking synthetic chicken and his synthetic cows.
Gramther says, big news, Gramther's hit $10,000 playing the Michigan lottery today.
Oh, shit.
Holy shit, did you really?
Damn,
that's lucky.
Damn.
Congratulations.
And you probably get, half of it after taxes? You probably get half.
Well, most of them, I think most kind of lotteries have, you can either take a lesser thing now with the tax already taken out, or you can take it in installments, which you'll get the whole amount, but it's not all at once.
Yeah, but I think the taxes, I think they're 50% on winnings.
It depends on what it is.
Yeah.
It depends on the amount. and a lot of other things. Because I've heard of like lottery winners that won like big lotteries, and it wasn't 50% that they had to
Graham
pay.
says he'll probably get $7,000 after taxes.
See, that's about what I thought. I was gonna say 7 or 8 grand. Which, you know, shit, man, there's nothing to sneeze at.
Murder Hornet says his insurance pays for his Viagra because of his prostate. Man, I wouldn't think you needed them dick pills, man. Not after fucking all that testosterone you're injecting. You probably don't need them dick pills. Although I heard that some guys who are on HRT and steroids will take Viagra on top of that. They say you fucking get bigger faster. There's something having to do with the blood vessels. Weird, huh?
Yeah.
Because some guys were being issued that, like, on a standard HRT package. The doctor's throwing in dick pills. Man, I fucking got hold of one of them dick pills one time, man. Had 2 of them. Remember that, Jenny?
Yeah.
Wore Jenny out.
Where did we? I think it was like a sample. It wasn't Viagra. It wasn't Viagra though. I think it was Cialis.
Somebody gave it to me.
That's right.
It came in a damn box with 2.
Yeah, it was like a sample, like from a
and that shit
pharmaceutical
sat around
company.
for years and years, and I says, I'm gonna try one of them fucking pills.
Yeah, we kind of forgot we had.
That shit was fucking dangerous. Man. You could you can fuck anything. You can fuck a damn tire. Car coming at you. You're trying to fuck the car.
Well, you're probably lucky you didn't have the erection lasting more than 4 hours.
This shit was like for fucking hours, man. And you're like, your refractory period, you know, fucking is like seconds. Bust a nut, and then like a couple seconds later, I'm ready to go again. Need to get some of that shit. Yeah, they come to think of it, man. I need to get some of that. Maybe they got that shit down in Mexico.
He's hitting around.
Now I'm thinking about it. That shit was pretty good.
It was. It was. It was.
Pretty
And like I
good.
said, that was Cialis. It wasn't Viagra.
Cialis,
But it's.
yeah.
I think it's the same shit, isn't it? Probably.
Yeah, it's the same thing.
Same
They should
chemical.
have generic ones by now.
You would think.
I know that China and North Korea were making knockoffs of it. They said that
I don't
you could
understand
make
why.
it.
Like, why can't you buy that shit over the counter? Or can you? I don't know.
No, you
I
can't
haven't
buy it over
looked.
the counter.
No.
No, the doctors want their cut.
I know, but
is
then
all-
it's weird because there are some things that you absolutely can buy over the counter that you think you wouldn't be able to. I don't know. It's just like, I don't know. It's just like a whole fucking clusterfuck.
That shit is a fucking hell of a fucking recreational drug, though.
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
Murder Hornet says, I just use them for Mexico. And then
Just use them
Tammy
for Mexico, yeah.
Tammy said, I'd love to see a prescription that says for boner.
Boner.
Well, you have to pretend it's like a medical issue. It's erectile dysfunction. That sounds better than saying
It's
for
kind of
boner.
psychological too.
Well, yeah, I'm sure that there's like some
Yeah,
aspect of placebo
right.
effect to
And
it.
then there's kind of like a that shit was like I wouldn't say it was like cocaine. It's not like testosterone, but it has a feel to it. You know, it's not like it did for me.
Yeah.
It felt like a drug, kind of like an aphrodisiac.
Granther said, I'd rather nut quick and go to sleep than have a 4-hour time cutter.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know that feeling.
I like to
Once you
take
get to a
that-
certain age, it's just kind of like, okay.
Take Cialis, Sust 350, and Tren, and fuck.
Tom, you're gonna explode through the dick.
Boom.
He's just gonna go. I mean, you're just. I don't know what you're gonna do. I don't know.
Yeah.
You're just gonna blow up one of these days.
It's gonna be alright.
You think?
It's gonna be alright.
Maybe
old
until
anyway.
it's not.
I'm old.
You're
anyway.
not that old.
No, yeah, I'm fucking. It's all fucking. All coming together. It's all coming together.
All coming
It's
together.
all coming together. Yeah, I'm going along schedule. Fucking building back, man. Building back better. Fucking in a couple years, I'll look good. I'll look really good. I think in the next 6 months, I'm gonna fucking drop about another 10 pounds of fat, maybe. I'm not sure I have 10 pounds on me, but probably, huh? No,
I don't know. It's like you
Probably
don't
like
really
7 or 8.
you don't really seem to have much fat
Yeah.
on you, to be fair. I mean,
Well, I got some right here still. It's
but that might be the only area,
It
to
is,
be
pretty
honest. I
much.
mean, your
Just-
legs are small, like your
Yeah.
belly isn't that big, like your
Yeah.
butt is small.
Yeah.
So,
There's not much, but there's about another 5. I think there's also fat inside the muscle tissue itself.
Well, yeah.
I'm just talking about like, visible fat. There's probably 10 pounds there. So if I were to lose 5, I'd probably be at about 8% body fat if I lost 5 pounds. That'd look good. I did 6-packs of shit. 6-packs not natural.
No.
6-packs just for drug addicts and fucking dudes that are fucking juicing. I fucking saw a show on it. They fucking dude tracked it down, fucking by individual dude with all these fucking 6-pack, and you go nope, drug addict, fucking juicing. It's because not even young guys that really work out, unless they're gifted genetically, even they don't really have them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not even a fucking 17, 18-year-old really has them usually. It's just when they fucking go on juice they start getting them.
Yeah.
It's not natural.
Speaking of testosterone,
Yeah.
the show tonight is
Yes.
Road Rage.
Yep. It's all interrelated.
It definitely
It's all
is.
interrelated.
It definitely is. I mean, I have like 4 or 5 cases. Some of them are short.
Yeah.
So we'll kind of get into like talking about that, but I don't know. Here's an interesting statistic that I found though. Like a bunch of different studies, since we're talking about testosterone. It says a number of studies have found that individuals with road rage are predominantly young. The average age is 33. No surprise there. And 96.6% male.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm not saying that women don't do it too, because I've seen, like, I was watching a couple documentaries earlier, and they had like some pretty egregious like ones of women doing it too. Although the women don't usually end up killing people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There was
Yeah.
one where she kind of like caused an accident and shit like that, but there's been one, and actually there was, when I was doing the research for this, I found a case that happened in Orlando just yesterday, matter of fact. So we'll talk about that in a little bit too. But Florida is actually, I don't know about, I mean, as far as like the latest statistics go, Florida is actually number 1 in road rage incidents, which probably shouldn't surprise anyone.
A lot of South Americans
Because everyone, well, and everyone's like fucking super aggro
Yeah.
down here
And
too.
drugs too. We'd be driving and fucking some dude fucking take off on. You're going 70 and he's passed you at 120 and he'll run right into the back end of a traffic jam and try to get around it in the downtown area. Or you know what I mean? When you
Well, and that
when
happens.
freeway's trying to-
That's why I hate driving on I-4.
That's a Brazilian.
I hate it.
And I'm like, that's a Brazilian. Only a Brazilian drives that way. They think that they're racist.
Oh well, I don't know about that.
I've never
I've lived
seen-
here my whole entire life, and I've seen people driving like that
It's
all the
because
time.
Brazilians have been here your whole damn entire life. When I was living
No,
in Brazil,
some of them are white dudes. I've
Yeah.
seen white dudes driving like that
well,
too.
Brazilians are white.
Well, you know what I mean.
I fit right in with a lot of Brazilians, you know.
Because you also drive like that? No, you don't.
No, I don't drive. Well,
No.
I didn't even drive like that in Brazil
Yeah.
when I was driving. But no, they're fucking. They all think they're Nelson Piquet, man. That they all think they're race car drivers. Why don't you turn that up a little bit? Maybe get a little bit more.
That's as
bounce.
bright as it goes.
That's as bright as it goes.
Yeah, it's as bright.
No,
as
we
it
need to do. We need to put something white there, because now that light is fucking cut out of the mix, we can perfect this lighting setup.
Yeah.
You know, try to get us some more soft bounce. How do we look, guys, on your screen? Do we look fuzzy, or can you? Because the way it was before, a lot of times was just really unflattering with the angle of the light coming in through the back and the sideways and shit. Make you look like the goddamn mummy. I'm trying to get a good, either make you look like fucking old crinkled up paper or fat or something, you know what I mean? So we got to try to get some flattering light up in here. Now that we have the light situation under total control now.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I might
It looks
need.
better. Look at that shit.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Tammy said looks good here.
Okay.
Thank you, Zach. Speaking of the body, I took a small drag from a joint the other day, and the new job I'm applying to might drug test, so I'm freaking out.
Yeah.
I'm not actually sure how long in between is it going to be, like before the drug test and like when I don't know how much of a joint you would have had to smoke for it to pick it up. I used to fucking hate that, man. Drug tests. Like, unless I turn up to the fucking job like whacked out and I can't do my job, then mind your own damn business. You know what I mean?
Yeah, what the hell would they need that for? I can understand if you're operating heavy equipment or if you're
Yeah, like
cop
or
something.
flying a plane or
Flying
some
a
shit
plane,
like
yeah.
that. Yeah, where people are gonna die if you
working in
don't
an
do it
office,
right.
it
But
would-
yeah, it's like who the fuck cares if I'm high? God damn it!
It probably-
As long as you're getting the work done.
Probably has something to do with their insurance.
Yeah, that's exactly what it's to do
Yeah.
with, because they're like, hey, we don't want a bunch of druggies, like, fucking.
Right.
Slasher Fred says, some drivers don't realize the seriousness of driving. Yeah, a lot of them don't. Well, it's just something that people do every day, and you just get used to it, and, you know, you very rarely stop to think that, oh, I'm driving around this 2-ton piece of machinery that could, like, fucking obliterate a person.
See, me and Gramters, we came from a generation of real men. Back when we were going to high school and over at Trenton High, when we went through the damn driver's education program, they showed us a video of all them fucking dead bodies they pull out of the cars, the damn fucking jaw hanging off the dude.
I saw those too. Does that make me also a real man?
Yeah, it makes you a real man too. But just back in Generation X and before, they horrified you. They let you know that you get killed driving these things if you if you fucking hit something and it doesn't take much speed, you can get killed at fucking 35-mile-an-hour impact.
Yep.
Kill you deader than shit. That's why it upsets me. I see these fucking bikers at the fucking bar because there's no, you don't have to wear a helmet in Florida. You just need glasses. And a lot of these fucking fat old dudes, you know what I mean, being all cool on their Harleys and shit, they can't ride really. You know, they can ride around on a Harley, but they don't really have good instincts. They haven't been riding that long. And a Harley can still fucking cash or can write a check that motherfucker can't cash. Something can happen faster than his reaction time, and he comes off that bike. And you don't realize that coming off at 25 miles an hour and your head hits that fucking concrete, that's equivalent to a fucking strike with a baseball bat.
Yep.
Yeah,
and 25 is like
25,
nothing.
it's nothing.
It seems like when you're driving, it seems like nothing.
I peeled one dude off the fucking intersection. His bike was up in the down. Remember that a couple years back, and he was just one of them fucking Harley dudes. He had a helmet on though, but he had a little skull cap helmet. It just covered the very top of his head.
Which better than nothing, but
looked
still...
like that damn hat from Fred Flintstone with just a turtle. That's what it looked like.
Just the turtle.
You remember that turtle fucking hat? That dude on a brontosaurus and shit? That's what he looked like. And he was just face down in a road. I weaved through all the fucking cars to get into the accident scene because I was on my bike to get up in the accident scene, jump off, and everybody don't know what to do. What do I do? You know what I mean? Fucking people just look at him. And he's face down going, and I go, head injury, frontal head injury. Just fighting himself and shit. Rolled him over and just said, just keep him on his back, elevate his feet. You know, fucking, it sounds funny, but fucking unbuckled his fucking pants, you know, because he had a big old fucking belly and just trying to keep his circulation going, you know.
That's not funny. That's,
A lot of people are like, man, you don't understand it. I said, I know first aid. Fucking loosen all his shit.
Yeah.
And then it just fucking went up and fucking looked at his bike in the damn fucking flower bed in the entranceway to that damn thing. And around that time, the cops showed up. And I says, like, you guys got it under control. I said, that's a frontal head injury, man. He's fucked. And they says, yeah. And then I left. They fucking, but didn't have a real helmet on. And he wasn't going that fast.
Yeah.
The witnesses said he wasn't going that fast at all, about 45. But he wasn't wearing a full face helmet. Just that little damn skull cap that didn't have any impact absorption, you know, and you just fucking, he hit the side. So, these motherfuckers driving this shit today, driving around, I think they came from, first of all, I don't think there's much of driver's ed courses in the United States anymore, and they definitely don't terrorize them like they did our generation. Just show them a bunch of dead bodies. Show them what fucking impact looks like. About how little of an impact it takes to turn your brains to mush. Don't take much. And what it's like hitting the damn steering column. You know, if you didn't have a seatbelt on, and back in the day they didn't have fucking airbags, and the steering columns didn't bend much. It used to be that people got killed just by having the steering column shoved through their chest.
My grandmother's brother died like that when he was 17.
Yeah.
He hit a tree, and the steering column went right through his chest and impaled him.
Yeah.
Yep.
Or you're thrown up over it into the steering column, and the passenger goes up into the fucking windshield, and they're just mashed up against the inside of the windshield. Then they bounce back in. They don't come out the windshield, but just That sometimes kills them, just hitting the windshield. Crush your head.
Yeah, and I mean, the thing about it is, like, cars nowadays are much, much safer than they used to be back in the old days, but
a car can only do so much.
But yeah, exactly.
It can only do so much.
And if you're driving like an asshole...
Yeah.
And the thing about it is, like, you know, like Tammy was saying earlier that she drives for a living, and a lot of people drive like idiots and stupid. They do. I mean, people do stupid shit. They're on their fucking phones. They're doing dumbass shit. They're not paying attention. And, you know, and I can understand, like, why that makes people mad. But the problem being that, like, even if you see, like, I was watching this documentary earlier, right? And there's this guy, and he's a motorcyclist. I think he's in Denver. And he's kind of... I don't know if he's around anymore because I don't know how old this documentary was, but he's kind of like dubbed himself this kind of like road avenger, where he goes around on his motorcycle, and if he sees people doing dumb shit like on the road, like they're on their phone or whatever, he'll like excoriate them about it. But I'm like, dude, I don't, one, it's like that seems like a really douchey thing to do, and two, it's like that is exactly what they tell you not to do to like avoid road rage. They said, look, it's like, the problem is, you see somebody doing some dumb shit, they're like, just don't engage. Yeah. Because a lot of times, if you call out that person, like, what the fuck? Well, like, what are you doing? And then they'll turn on you. Yeah. You don't know if that person's armed. You don't know if that person's insane, or they just got out of jail or something like that. They're always just kind of like, look, if they're doing dumb shit, just get the fuck away from them and go home. It's like, don't worry about it, because it's not worth getting fucking killed over because some dumb fuck is, like, doing stupid shit on the road. You know what I'm saying? I mean, obviously, unless they're doing something really dangerous, in which case, still don't engage them to call the cops. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Tammy says they don't even teach kids how to change a tire anymore. They don't know how to change a tire. And that was what you learned that in driver's ed. They
didn't teach me that in driver's ed. My dad taught me how, but I don't remember.
I knew before, but I don't remember. Grandparents, did they teach us how to change a tire? I think they did. I think they did teach us how to change a tire. I don't think
they taught us that in driver's ed. I could be wrong. It was a long time ago.
Our driver's ed course was before school. That shit went on. It seemed like for weeks, man. I had to get up when it was still dark and wait outside. It was dark. You know what I mean? Fucking 5 o'clock in the morning.
Ours was just a regular class.
Yeah, it was a class, but it started before school.
No, ours was just like a regular class, like you would take in the day, and it was like a 9-week class. It was like one semester or maybe 2 semesters.
It seemed to take forever.
I think it was 9 weeks.
We were eventually driving before school and shit.
Yeah,
it was pretty cool. And then we got our learner's permit at school. I think we got the driver's license later. It got delivered to us.
Because you have to get that's how it was back then. Like, you get the learner's permit. Well, you had to get the learner's permit before you even took the class, or you had to take the written test in the class, then you get your learner's permit, then they would let you out on the range and drive around, and then at the end of the semester, then you went to, you know, the place in your county or whatever and took the driving test and got your actual driver's license. Yeah. Zach says, I'm 25 and thank you, by the way. I'm 25 and still working on getting my license, sadly, but I kind of don't trust myself to be a good driver as much as I don't trust others. Yeah, I get that. I mean, I didn't
get miles under your wheels.
I didn't really learn to drive. Like, I took driver's ed, but I didn't really drive. But then I didn't have any money to have a car, so I didn't really start driving until I was in my mid-20s. You know what I mean? But I honestly really don't like to drive. I don't mind driving if there's nobody else on the road. But if there's other people around, yeah, I don't like it. I don't like it.
I was driving in my teens.
Yeah, well, I was too, but I didn't really, because I didn't have money for a car, I just didn't drive, so I was always like, you know, taking the bus or sponging off until I got, you know, older, got a job, and got money to get my own car. And then I took more lessons because I was like, wanted to make sure I was doing it right.
Just gotta get some miles under your wheels, Zach.
I mean,
it's easy. You just gotta. Well, it was easy for me because it became second nature. You just gotta drive a lot. Just keep driving; it'll become second nature.
And the thing about it too is that the driving test in the U.S., at least in most parts of the U.S., is super easy compared to Europe.
Oh yeah.
Where Europe, they don't teach you for free. You got to pay for lessons. And 2, the test is super hard. Yeah. Like, you fuck up one thing, fail. You got to start over.
Yeah, they pretended like it's like an airplane.
Well, they also don't have a lot of automatics over there. Like, you can buy an automatic, but everything is manual transmission.
That's easy too, though.
And the roads, I have to say, like, when I first went over there, like, to the UK, I was like, man, these roads are so fucking small. They're really, really small and really, really twisty. And you have to be, like, really good at, like, maneuvering around everything, like, at all times. Because over here, we have big, wide, open roads and stuff. They don't really have that so much over there, so you really have to, like, have your shit together and be paying attention.
I've owned both automatics and
my first car was a manual.
And my first car was in Brazil, and it was a what we call a Fusca, which is a Volkswagen Bug, a Brazilian-made Volkswagen Bug, and it was manual. But I also had a Toyota SR5 5-speed back in the 80s. That was a fucking fun little car. Fast little thing, you know, for a little economy car, a little Corolla. And the Europeans, man, they fucking love those standards for some reason. I mean...
That's just what they're used to.
They're just used to
You can get automatics over there, but most people are just used to, I mean, they learned on a manual. Yeah. They're used to driving a manual. There's a lot of, like I said, there's a lot of in and out traffic, hills, shit like that, so they're just, like, used to driving them.
Yeah, there's absolutely no...
Automatics, I kind of feel like they almost feel like it's cheating.
Yeah, there's no reason for a standard in the United States. There's no advantage to it. Matter of fact, it's just a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
Because the roads here are built, they're very fucking straight and boring by European standards, and they're wide, they're not congested. And it's when you're in town, it's just stop and go, slow traffic, most of it. And all that fucking clutching and fucking shifting, it's just pain in the ass. You could be sitting there eating in an automatic. You know what I mean? So
yeah, you could be eating with one hand and driving with another one.
Drive this.
That's how we do.
Yeah, when I was in Boston, I was dating a German girl, and she was goofing on me because my fucking car was an automatic. But then when she would ride around with me for a little while, she goes, "Yeah, I see why you have automatics now. There's no reason for a standard." I'm like, no.
Yeah, it's the road is the road situation are totally different.
Right, and then there's then they'll counter. It goes, yes, but the standards are more reliable. No, they're not. They're not at all. In automatic transmissions, the new ones or the ones that they've had anything past the late 80s will run forever, damn near forever, especially the American ones, because the engine's only putting out 150, 140, or 150 horsepower, but the transmission would be rated to fucking handle like 250, 300 horsepower. So they're just very overbuilt fucking automatics, and there's just very little that can go wrong in them. I've had some of those fucking American cars to where the fucking car has 100 and something thousand miles on it, and it's that same transmission, and you don't even really know if the transmission oil's ever been changed, which is ridiculous when you think about it. But that's just the life of a lot of those cars. They're like that. Probably just added transmission fluid, but some of that shit that I've had, I don't think was ever changed.
Yeah,
doesn't matter. Not really.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, my first car was a manual.
Yeah.
And man, that shit was a pain in the ass.
Manuals had the clutch plates have to be replaced a lot. There's a lot of
well, and that's what ended up happening. Like, I had it for a year or two. It was used when I got it, obviously, because I didn't have a lot of money. But yeah, the clutch went, and they're like, well, we could replace this whole thing, but it's going to cost more than the car's worth.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, they're just.
So I never got another manual transmission.
Automatics require a lot of fucking maintenance. The American roads beat them up pretty bad. American driving beats them up. And I think Europe likes them because they don't drive that much. There's nowhere to go. They don't. For them, an hour drive is, boy, that's a long way. Man, an hour's nothing here.
Well, in Europe, in an hour, you could be in another country.
Yeah. There's nowhere to go. Fucking here in
Florida, you're still in fucking Florida.
Yeah.
After several hours.
Yeah, it takes an hour to go from here to the club, and we do it fucking drunk, And don't pass anything on the way there.
Yeah, because it's all kind of... it doesn't take quite an hour. It's probably like 45 minutes. Yeah. Something like that.
Yeah.
Hey, our friend David Parker is here. Hey, David, what's up?
Okay.
What's up? How are you doing?
All right. We're getting sidetracked.
We're talking about cars still.
Yeah, and we're still in the first hour, right?
He says, took driver's ed during the summer when I was 15 years old. Our teacher taught us how to change a tire. Okay. On my 16th birthday, walked in and got my driver's license without a test. That's right.
Yeah,
they did that at our school, too.
Right.
Like I said, 9 weeks, they gave you the class, and you could go to the place and take the test.
Yeah.
Or you could opt to take the test at the school, and then they would give you a voucher.
I think that's right.
And then you would just go and, like, pick it up.
You got a
whatever.
permit just by completing the test. And
A written test.
No. We got just by completing the school test. Remember, there's a final test at the end of the school thing. You got a permit, but it was like a day permit. You can only drive during the day. Learner's permit.
Well,
Remember that?
Well, that's what I was saying.
It didn't come from the DMV.
No, the
school sent it to there, and it came from, and the DMV sent it to us, I think.
The learner's permit.
Yeah.
I had to go before I took the class.
This is Michigan, though.
I had to go before I took the class, and the learner's permit, they'll give it to you if you just take a written test. You didn't have to take the driving test. I was 15.
Yeah, and you could take that test at school, right?
No, because I went to the place and took it, and then I took the class.
I think, I don't know where grandparents went, but I think we took that learner's permit test at school. I think that was like the final exam type of deal. Because I remember it just showing up in the damn mailbox, and you had to have that learner's permit, and you could only drive during the day on the weekday, and then you could drive at night on the weekends. I think
ours you could drive during the day. You could drive at night if you had a job at night.
If you had a job at
or if there was an older licensed driver, somebody over 21 or 25 in the car with you, then you could.
I remember driving at night, and it was legal on the weekends, but you could go to work.
Yeah, I don't remember maybe it was. I can't really remember. It was a long time ago. But I know if you had a job at night, because a lot of kids had, they worked at McDonald's or whatever after school, and they could drive at night. That was allowed.
You had to have that for several months. Mm-hmm. And then you had to go down to the DMV, and like you said, I think they just gave you a driver's license. You just took a picture, and they gave you a driver's license.
Yeah.
I don't think there was even any test. Because you already took the test.
At school, yeah.
Yeah, you took the test at school.
Yeah, you could do, like, we had that at the end of the semester.
Right.
You could take the test, like the driving test, at school.
Yeah.
Or if you wanted to, you could go to the DMV and take it.
Yeah.
I actually ended up taking mine at the DMV in Orange City. I don't remember why that happened. But, yeah. So I didn't take it at school. I took it at the DMV at Orange City. And I only missed 1 point. I didn't stop like far enough behind the stop sign white line, and they dinged me a point for that, but that's all I got off. But yeah. Written test for learner's permit at DMV. Yeah, because you had to have that before you were allowed to drive in the class, like in the school class. So you had to have that first. Like they would do like book work for the first week or two, like teaching you all the rules and the signs and all that kind of crap. Yeah, they would do that.
Yeah, we didn't have any road rage issues there, though.
I don't know. It just seems like...
It was easy to drive that shit. It was easy.
I mean, obviously, kind of like road rage, as far as they can determine, it's actually gotten a lot worse in the last decade. Road rage, it's not so much road rage like all the time, but like road rage related deaths, and as in people dying as of a result of it. Increase of 500% since 2012, last decade.
Kevin's saying you look beautiful, Jenny.
Aw, thank you.
Tell you, she looks great, fucking with long hair.
I'm wearing Tom's Danzig hair.
Yeah, it's got the Danzig hair. She looks great with long hair parted in the middle.
Well, I'm trying to grow my actual hair back to that. It's just kind of like it's taking a long time.
Yeah, it's flattering to her face to have that part in the middle.
I was going to put the blue wig on, but then I was like, oh, wait, I have a red necklace on, and it's just like... And I thought I was supposed to get my cool, like, fake red nails today, and I was going to wear those. And so I was like, well, I can't wear blue hair and red nails, because I have a thing about, like, color coordination. But they didn't show up today. So it was all... This wig, though, you really should brush it more, like every time you wear it.
Yeah, it was all puffy.
Because it was all like had rat's nest, and I had to like brush it.
It's because I'm just drunk grabbing it.
Yeah, that's what I mean. And you just see, you don't take care of your stuff, man. Because I went in there.
Zach's giving us more money. Thanks, Zach.
Are you really?
Yeah,
I must be
rich.
I must be a little. Thank you, Zach. Yeah. They say it got worse, but do they say why? I don't know. I just kind of feel like maybe, I mean, cities are more congested. maybe like people are just angrier like about other things and are like taking it out on other drivers. I'm not really entirely sure.
Probably have to look at what the average case is like now.
Yeah.
It might be drug related. Might be semi-gang related. You don't know.
Well, the thing about it, if to call it a road rage related death, you would think that they would at least have to have some kind of like witnesses or something like that that could attest to it actually being caused by road rage, you know what I mean? And not just like a drive-by or whatever. So, I don't know. I'm just saying, like I said, this doesn't say road rage as a whole. This says deaths related to road rage have increased 500% in the last decade. Cases involving guns doubled between 2014 and 2016. In 2016, it was 620 shootings that were a result of road rage incidents. So that's nice. So between 2014 and 2016, 136 people shot due to incidents of road rage in the U.S. Now, the next statistic I found, 8 in 10 Americans are involved in road rage behavior at least once a year. I'm imagining these are just the ones that are admitting it, because I'm guessing these aren't ones that are necessarily picked up by police, but because I've had road rage, you've had road rage, everybody's done it. Like, I've been driving and being like, what the fuck is this person? I'm going to follow this person home. I'm going to beat their ass. What the fuck are they even doing? And, you know, I kind of feel like most people have done that, right? You've done that. I've done that.
What's that?
Well, it's like I said, just having road rage feelings. Like...
Well, I had that a couple months back. Remember when I wanted to jump out the car and beat that dude's ass in front of the house?
That's what I mean. Everybody's had stuff like that.
Yeah,
I haven't done it for a long time.
Yeah.
But one thing I did, and this was a long time ago. This was probably like 15 years ago. But I remember doing this, and I'm really not proud of it.
Hormones had something to do with that shit, though.
Huh?
Hormones had something
Well,
to do with
yeah,
that.
obviously.
Yeah.
But I'm not proud of this, and it's like, you know, I'm lucky that I didn't get fucking killed, because I easily could have. I was driving, I don't remember where I was driving from. This was, like I said, this was probably like 13, 14, 15 years ago, something like that. I'm driving on, I think it was I-4. And this fucking I think it was a pickup truck, and they were just like riding my ass, like right on my fucking bumper. And it was just making me so mad. I was probably mad about something else like that day too, but I was just like, what the fuck? What the fuck is this dude doing? Oh my god, he's like he's fucking pissing me off. And he's just like doing that. And then like he's like going like that, and I'm just like, oh bitch, I'm gonna get you. And so like he goes over in like the fast lane, I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna follow you. And I was like, and I followed him.
David's leaving. Go.
Oh, okay. Bye. See you later. Thank you for dropping by. But I'm sorry. So I start following this dude because he like really made me mad, like all the shit that he was doing. And while I was following this dude, I'm like, yeah, how do you like it? How do you like it? I'm going to ride right up on your ass. How do you like it? And I'm doing that. And then all of a sudden, my tire goes a little bit like off the lip of I-4, like into the median. And the car spun out across 3 lanes.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there going, fuck me.
So
if there had
yeah.
No, I did that.
Oh, you did that? Okay.
That was like years ago.
Okay.
And had other cars been coming on the highway, I'd have easily been dead. I'd have been T-boned.
Yeah.
Because the car spun all the way across. And I was just kind of like, and I stopped on the side and I was just like, okay, let's not do that again. let's just calm down. And was it, you know, because I kind of have a thing about, I'm very impatient. I tend to get like, you know, really angry about stuff like that. And the older I get, though, I'm just kind of like, look, it's not really worth it. Because I easily could have been killed. Had there been another car coming that, you know, because I just like spun out like that, it could have T-boned me and I could have been dead. And I'm just like, all because I was trying to punish that guy because he was like, just kept riding up on my ass and being a dick. And I was trying to like make him like, how do you like it? So I was trying to like, and the thing about people like that, they don't learn. You can't teach them. Like, they're not going to feel bad. Yeah. So it's like, don't bother. You know what I mean? It's really, really not worth it.
Hornet says he prefers those manuals. His first car was a manual. Yeah, manuals are good. They're like it's like a motorcycle, you know. Motorcycles are manuals. Manual transmission is good. That's what you want in a sports car or a race car. In your average fucking street car here in the U.S. or truck, yeah, you want a fucking automatic.
It's just too much trouble. It's like yet another thing to deal with that you don't have to deal with.
You're right.
Like I said, the roads here are just very wide and very straight at most places, and it's like it's really just a hassle that you don't need.
And there, you know, some of these fucking vehicles have all kinds of computer-controlled automatic transmissions that you can put high-performance modes in and traction modes. The trucks have amazing fucking automatic fucking transmissions that have four-wheel drive settings and shit that happen, and you know. But you just, as long as fucking lightweight and speed are not a priority, then automatic is the way you want to go. If speed, agility, something like a race car or a sports car, you want fucking standard. That way you can downshift and do fucking upshift in weird ways, and you know, fucking downshifting is fucking pretty good in a turn sometimes if you need a bunch of traction. And but you know, it's just that's only racing. You know, it's not.
Yeah, just going back and forth to work or going to the store. Yeah, you don't need it for that. It's just, like I said, it's just another thing that I mean, automatic is just so easy. Just like one fucking, you know, you can stop.
You can put all that argument to rest if you just fucking get a badass electric, like fucking that top of line Tesla. 4-wheel drive, electric, pure fucking torque. There's no transmission. But as we all know, electric cars are not really ready for prime time yet. They're trying to force that shit into prime time for stupid reasons, you know. Electric is the way to go. Electric is fucking great. Problem is the batteries aren't ready. Take a long time to charge them. They're expensive. And then you can say, well, it's green. It is not green. This is a fantasy. All right. This is what oligarchs want you to think because they've invested in that technology. They want you to buy from them. You got to fucking pull that lithium out of the ground. They do it with big machines, and they have to fucking burn more fucking fuel mining all that lithium. Then that lithium saves you when you turn it into a battery. It's easier to just go direct. Just burn the oil. Make it a very efficient burn. And it cuts that out of the loop. So, yeah, your car seems to be green. It isn't. The amount of fuel burned to get that lithium, the amount of fuel burned to generate the damn electricity at the power plant, it doesn't make sense. It's really inefficient from the green point of view. But they know you're dumb and that you'll do whatever they say, and they're trying to make money. Will it work out one day? Yeah, but not yet. You have to have a fucking easy way to get that power. You have to have nuclear power plants everywhere, and they won't put up with that. Nuclear power plants, fusion, fucking, and some kind of synthetically produced lithium type shit that you can make so you don't have to mine it. And fucking really badass fucking charging times. Yeah, you might be able to get that to work out. But no, it's not ready. That's fucking 50 years away. But the first cars were electric back in the 1800s. And that's really the way to go. It's more powerful, a lot more simple, cheaper. You don't have to, there's no transmission. The motor and the transmission are the same thing. Electric motor. Put one of them in each wheel. 4-wheel drive. Control it with a computer. Good batteries. And that system would be lighter and more powerful eventually. And just, yeah. Or if you get rid of the batteries and put a fusion reactor in there. That would really be good. Run it steam powered, making a generator. Well, that might be more complicated. Anyway, I'm fantasizing. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Fantasizing.
Tila just showed up. Hey,
Tila,
all. Happy Wednesday.
What's up, babe?
Tired, but trying to get a buzz from this watered-down pale ale.
Okay.
Well, good luck with
just
that.
Sit up in here and just get high with us, and we're going to talk about road rage. We're going to talk about some assholes behind the wheels. Everybody knows about assholes behind the wheel. We see them all the time.
The thing about... I mean, there's assholes everywhere. Like I said, you go to the fucking grocery store, there's assholes in the line like bitching about how long the line takes, shit like that. But there's something really insidious about road rage in particular because you don't see the person, you just see the other car. So it's much easier to like dehumanize this other driver because you're not really looking at him. Like you don't really see him as a person. It's just kind of like, You know what I mean? You're just mostly seeing the car and maybe just like a little blur behind the window or whatever. So it's much easier to direct your rage against that because it doesn't seem like a human to you. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Tila says, road rage is really nasty here in the Bay Area, San Francisco. Yeah, I kind of feel like, I mean, as far as I know, I think the last 2 or 3 years, Florida has had the most, but, you know, it's kind of high everywhere. So, where was it? Okay, so 8 in 10 Americans are involved in road rage behavior at least once a year. Not necessarily resulting in death, but they're just talking about road rage in general. 1 in 3 collisions involves road rage. I mentioned this earlier, but a bunch of studies say that everybody does road rage, men, women, I was going to say children. No.
Children.
Children. Like a little toddler behind the wheel. You motherfucker! Yeah, that doesn't happen, I hope. But, average age 33, overwhelmingly male, 96.6% male, according to most studies. I found this really interesting. I guess, like, if you think about it for a second, it's not really that weird. But according to a couple of studies they've done, people who have a bunch of bumper stickers on their cars or a bunch of like shit on their cars, you know, not necessarily bumper stickers, but just like a bunch of personalization, are way more likely to do road rage than a person that just has like a generic looking car. And it doesn't matter if it's bumper stickers. It doesn't matter what the bumper stickers say. It just like matters like the number of them or the number of the shit that they have on the amount of shit that they have on their car. That's personalization is a greater predictor of road rage than pretty much anything else. Depending on, it doesn't matter like how old the car is, what the make or model is, or anything like that. It's usually how personalized is this car. That is the number one predictor, other than, you know, age and gender. Between 2014 and 2016, where I said, like, you know, that the amount of road rage incidents involving guns had doubled, Florida, more road rage incidents than any other state. We're number one. That's depressing. A total of 147 incidents between those 2 years. So this particular, I don't know if this is like statewide or nationwide. 66% of traffic fatalities are caused by aggressive driving or aggressive drivers. 37% of aggressive driving incidents involve the use of guns. Scary. And 50% of drivers who are on the receiving end of an aggressive driver's behavior respond back with additional aggressive behavior, which is why they always tell you if somebody flips you off or swears at you out the window or something like that, do not escalate it. They even say do not make eye contact with that person, just keep on keeping on, because if you stop and yell back at them, or it's just gonna like turn into a whole thing and somebody's gonna end up getting shot. So that's basically what they tell you to do. They even say like don't even look at the person. They're like, even when you're driving around, don't even like excessive eye contact or anything, because some people get offended by that. So, but for sure, like if you do something dumb, like if you cut somebody off, like you didn't see them or something, and they start flipping out in the car behind you, like don't engage. Just keep on going, because, you know, the shit could end badly. So as I said, I had 4 cases kind of like laid out, but while I was doing a little more research today, like kind of poking around, I found an incident that happened right here in Orlando yesterday. Nobody got killed, but somebody got like really, really badly injured. And the person that did it is still at large, so isn't that fun? So maybe we'll be doing a public service. So here's what happened. This young woman named Jessica Myers, she was driving home, and I believe her fiance wasn't in the car, but she was driving home, and a man like cut her off, like cut in front of her. Now, I'm not blaming the victim, but everybody says, like, to keep road rage from happening, do not do this. She pulls up next to the guy and is basically like, hey, what's the deal? Like, what's your problem? What are you doing? Seriously, don't do that, no matter how stupid the person is that did it. And you'll see why not to. So he cut her off, and she said, he cut me off. I pulled up and said, what's wrong with you? She pulled up next to him. And then after that, the guy starts following her. So, see, that's why. Just keep on going. Don't engage. So the guy's following her. She calls her fiance, whose name was Matthew, on the phone. And she says, hey, this guy just cut me off and I said something to him and now he's following me home. So he says, well, just come home. You know, it'll be fine. So she gets home and her fiance and their grown son come out, you know, to make sure she's okay, like come out on the driveway. And then the person that was following her comes out and the driver ran over, like hit the guy, like the fiance with his car. Like just ran in the fucking driveway. He just like fucking ran him over. So, I mean, it didn't kill him, but I saw pictures of him in the hospital. He looks pretty fucked up. So, all that from just the girl being like, hey, what are you doing? Like, why'd you cut me off? The dude follows her home and then like runs over her fiance who came out to the driveway to make sure she was all right.
How old were these people involved? I missed a lot of this shit.
Calm fucking down. Yeah. I don't really know. They didn't look that old. They looked probably 30s, maybe. It was kind of hard to tell.
Motherfucker needed a serious ass whipping.
I mean, seriously, like settle
Did it kill
down.
him?
No.
Okay.
But he looks kind of fucked up.
Yeah.
I mean, he's pretty injured.
Right.
Let me see, because I found this. I wrote this like this down, and I was like, yeah, driver is still at large. Michael Guerin is hospitalized with multiple injuries, including fractured vertebrae. So it broke his back, and his wrist also. So he had to, you know. Oh, and neither one of them has medical insurance, so they had to start a GoFundMe. Isn't that nice? But yeah, so they're still looking for the motherfucker that did this. Because like I said, this is what kills me. It's just kind of like, people need to just fucking let shit go. People do dumb shit while they're driving. It's gonna happen. People are idiots. Just let it go. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or who knows? And
So
worse shit is gonna happen later on, like
You're
in some of these
expecting
stories.
sanity from a very large population of people. There's always going to be a few insane ones in there.
Well, yeah, I know.
The bigger the crowd, the more you scale up and look down on these little ants, the more maniacs you're going to see.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's just statistical.
But that's just the price of a society. It's all like that. You know what I mean? What are you going to do? Lock everybody up? Just 'cause
Well,
there's a couple of them
and the
that are
thing
bad?
about it is that, and I kind of try to think about it from this point of view, like I said, from a statistical point of view. Most people are fine. Most people wouldn't do that. Most people would just be like, oh, whatever, what an idiot, and just would go about their day. But the fact that, you know, crime sells, so you're going to hear about it. And the more you hear about it, the more you think, oh my God, everybody's crazy. Everybody's not crazy. You're just not hearing about the majority of people that aren't doing crazy shit.
Yeah.
Most people don't do stupid shit like this. You know what I mean? I mean, it's more than it should be, probably, but most people wouldn't follow a girl that they had just cut off because she was like, hey, bro, what the fuck? And then go and, like, run over her fucking fiance in their fucking driveway of their house. Most people would not do that because that's some crazy shit right there, you know? But,
yeah, well, dude's probably in a situation where he doesn't feel like he has any damn control over his life, and fucking he's being shit on, and he's under all this pressure, and somebody pisses him off, and he's like, he's gonna take vengeance out on this person he doesn't even know. And he's looking at the car first, and then he realizes later on there's somebody in that car, and he transfers the hatred from the car onto the person.
yeah.
And he attacks the person. It's always easy. Okay, look, I'm gonna go back to fucking warfare because I know all about this shit. I studied it from the masters, some of the best military units of all times. I've been in them. If you talk to fucking fighter pilots from World War II, it's real easy for these guys to shoot at another airplane and watch it burst into flames. All right, they go, yeah, gotcha, you bitch. They'll even fucking put a little swastika or a Japanese fucking rising sun on their plane to score that kill. But then if you hear their fucking stories, you know, in their interviews, sometimes they actually get to see the dude in the plane burning up. And it affects them because
Yeah.
all of a sudden they're like, oh yeah.
Because like I said, it's easy to dehumanize when you can't see.
Yeah, right.
It doesn't look like another human.
It's not another human they're aiming
Right.
at. They're aiming at an airplane.
At an object.
And then they see the man in there burning, and they go, "Oh shit, that's horrible." Yeah, that's right. Another guy saw.
Yeah,
another
actions
guy,
have consequences.
Right, yeah. Well,
who knew?
Well, they're in a gladiatorial arena. He would
Yeah.
have done it to him. It's kill or be killed. They were all doing it to each other. It's just that it helps you dehumanize or to
Yeah.
desensitize yourself because it's symbolic combat. So it's happened to these road rage dudes. Probably starts off like that. They just see a car making them mad.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mentioned that earlier, that it's
Right.
very, very easy to dehumanize.
The average person, realizes when they see the person, they go, it's fuck him. And then they're able to dispel it because it's not the car, it's a person, and I don't want to get into it with the person. But there's going to be a psychopath of like, fuck that car and fuck those people too. I'm going to kill them people. So that's why you don't see more of it.
Yeah.
Because I'm like that. Fuck that fucking car's crazy. And then I see who's in it and I go, that fucking pussy. And then I feel better.
Well, the thing
'Cause I'm
about
like,
it is that
it's
I'm always just kind of like, look, if somebody's driving like
Yeah.
like they're racing, okay, I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, that person is clearly an idiot and somebody
right.
needs to do something about that. But if somebody just does something dumb, like, you know, oh, they don't know where they're at, like they
Yeah.
just stop real quick to turn, or they cut you off because they didn't see you, I'm willing to give that, because I've done dumb shit too. It's like, look, they're probably just not super paying attention, or they're lost or something like that. I'm not going to get fucking aggro about a mistake. If I'm going to get mad, it's going to be at somebody that's doing something clearly on purpose, which they do a lot on I-4. Like I said, they will race and and they're absolutely doing that on purpose. That's not an accident. Like I said, I'm willing to give people the benefit of the doubt for just being dumb or not being super on the ball or not super paying attention, or maybe they're inexperienced or something, or they didn't see you or whatever.
Agnes says you look beautiful, Jenny.
Thank you. Thank
Everybody
you.
likes your hair. You look good with long black hair part in the middle, Jenny. You do.
Well, that's why I'm growing it back, like I
Yeah,
told you.
yeah.
Agnes said Tom looks beautiful too.
Of course. That goes without saying.
Oh, but you have to. Well, everybody has to tell me,
That goes
but
without
you
saying.
already know that. Oh
Too
my
much
god.
beauty all in one spot.
Oh my god. Get
Don't
it.
make me take my clothes off. Don't make me take.
No one's making you. No one's making you.
okay.
It's so early. You're not even drunk yet. Come on now.
Okay.
Is that your first drink? Right?
That's two, but this is like a triple.
Oh, okay.
This is triple.
Oh,
Look at
that's already the
size of that
second one.
shit.
Oh my god.
Triple.
We're in trouble.
I'm drinking basically a fish tank. It's like
Yeah.
I'm gonna get me a damn fish bowl to drink out of.
I dare you to put the fish. Well, I was gonna say I dare you to put the fish in. Don't drink a real
No, I
fish.
never did that. Never did it to the little fishies.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say you could put a fake fish in there. Like you could put a gummy.
Yeah, yeah.
You could put a gummy fish in there.
Right.
That was like the size of a goldfish.
Right.
I would never have you like swallow a real goldfish.
No.
That's fucked up.
Tina's going laughing at me, and then she goes, "Yeah, we don't know what you're talking about. You know, she's just been talking about when I was talking about mad at the car, and then you see the person. It's probably what she's talking about."
Rick Shaw says ban cars, turn roads into roller discos. I'm down. Blah, blah, blah. Then it'll be fucking like roller derby out there. But yeah, I was mentioning that earlier. That's why like that's why you don't see too much. Well, I don't know. You do kind of see people in like, for example, like a grocery store line, like punched, but you don't usually see that because that's a person. You can see that it's a person.
Yeah.
It's not like an object.
Right.
And it's much, much harder to actually just come out and like punch a motherfucker in the face that's right there. That's,
Right.
you know, if it's just like an old lady or something like that. You know, not impossible, I will say, but it's harder. Much easier if you don't see it as a person. So that just happened yesterday in Florida. So hopefully that guy will be okay and they catch whoever the fuck did that, because that is monumentally fucked up. Now, only 14 states have laws against aggressive driving, interestingly, and only one state, which is California, has road rage as like a legal term. Like the rest of it, I guess it's kind of, they have to just put it under different statutes or whatever. Now this, I found this was interesting. Cities where road rage is most common. Does anybody want to guess?
Cities where more road rage or road rage?
The cities where road rage is most common.
American city?
American cities, yeah.
New York
Yep.
and San Francisco,
Nope.
New York, Chicago,
Nope.
New York, Miami.
Yep.
Okay. Crazy motherfuckers.
Miami, I think Miami has taken the cake the last 3 years.
Okay.
But our ones are New York, Detroit,
Okay, yeah.
Atlanta,
Yeah, big differences in all those situations.
where my sister lives in Atlanta, and she's like, yeah, everyone's fucking lunatics.
Yeah.
Phoenix, Miami,
Okay.
Houston,
Yeah.
Cincinnati,
Yeah.
and San Diego.
Okay, yeah, those cities are all worlds apart in culture. There's the reason why, you know, fucking.
But they're all big.
Well, yeah, but okay, Granthers, he can be here. I don't know if he's still here, because I lived in Detroit too. This shit happens in Detroit because it's large, sparsely populated. It's like a fucking Beirut. It's a bombed out, destroyed city. It's like Mad Max. It happens there because it can. If somebody makes you mad, nobody's watching. You can just start fucking shooting and killing people there. It's like some shit straight out of Predator. Now, Predator was going down fucking trying to kill all the hunting the gangsters and the cops and the fucking gangsters fighting. Yeah, that really should have been happening in Detroit. You could go down there and just shoot people because they do it.
Yep.
Yeah, they just for a while. When I was there, it was the murder capital of the fucking world. It was a rapidly declining population of people killing each other because of the drug trade, and just a fucking insane collapsing economy and corruption. But when you looked at it, it was peaceful because it was very sparsely populated for a city that size, mostly empty buildings. So you didn't get a scope of it. You know, it's not like New York. You know?
Yeah.
It was weird. It was quiet. Really, you know. It's just, so each one of these places, it's happening for different reasons.
Yeah.
Miami is not a fucking bad place. Miami's fucking bumping. It's fun. It's Latin salsa and fucking Cuban food and Cuban people and great nightclubs and it's like Central America. It's like a very high-end Central American city. And they're not immigrants. They've been here longer than the United States. You got to remember, the United States purchased, well, we got Florida in a peace settlement against Spain. So it was already a Hispanic territory.
Which is weird, like, why when people say they're immigrants, I'm like...
They're not immigrants.
They've been here longer than we have.
Yeah. Each place, well, a lot of this immigrants, this and that, this is coming from mythologies, coming from the Northeast, and universities where they're projecting the Northeastern situation onto the rest of the United States, not knowing the history of all these states. Texas was always half American and half. Texas was always half Mexican and half Irish from day one. It was Mexican and Irish cattle ranchers. And it was like a joint venture between a rich Mexican family and a rich little Irish cowboy family making a state, and they made their own little independent fucking republic. Florida was always Spain, Spanish Empire, you know, and it had a situation kind of more like Central America, and it had a good Caribbean kind of a vibe to it, like Pirates of the Caribbean and shit, you know what I mean?
Well, I was just going to say, Florida is Spain, Native Americans, and pirates.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
And Louisiana is...
I don't think people think of it like that, but that's exactly what it's like.
And Louisiana is French pirates and Africans and voodoo and fucking the mixing of all these cultures. And then you go, well, not Mississippi and Alabama, that's white as snow. Little do you know. No. Mississippi is German, and same with Alabama. There was no Alabama. I think Alabama broke off from Mississippi, or Mississippi broke off from Alabama. I don't remember. But at one time they were the same states. It was a mixture of Germans, Irish, and Africans and Spaniards. And it was, they were always mixed. They were not they weren't homogeneous. They just weren't. Like, I have Spanish names and French names, you know, in my family. You know, my fucking middle name is Francis, This is a French fucking name. My grandfather's name was Bolivar. It was a fucking Spanish name. So, but it was basically an Irish and German family, but there was a lot of French and Spanish influence in it, you know. And everybody is like that who was a native of these, and we all kind of had a little bit of Native American in us. Jenny's part Native American, but me and Jenny probably real close racially, Irish, German, Native American, you know. Maybe probably a little bit of French or Spanish in her, you know. But so it was never just this fucking ultra white boy paradise, Scandinavian, you know, with Vikings. No, that's up north. You know, Michigan, that's fucking Vikings.
Yeah, that's like Midwest, kind of, or like
yeah.
upper Midwest,
yeah,
more than anything.
Yeah, fucking we have fucking Sophie Benjaminson, our friend of the show who's been on shows with Sophie. She's a fucking Viking ice princess, you know. Fucking you look at her, she looks like she's straight from Sweden, you know. And you know, a lot of Michigan and Ohio's like that.
Rebecca says, Jenny, where did San Diego rate on the list? What number? They were 8th, actually. I got like the top 8. And it was New York, Detroit, Atlanta, Phoenix, Miami, Houston, Cincinnati, San Diego. Those were like the top 8. Those are the most common road rage cities. Least common for road rage behavior, I don't have as many cities for that, but Denver, which is interesting. My sister used to live there as well. Portland, Oregon, that was one of the lowest ones. And most cities in Ohio. Also, states that didn't have a lot of road rage: Georgia, Tennessee, Missouri, and Minnesota. So there was that as well. Like I said, I kind of feel like you said, the cities that had the most road rage, it's not... I mean, I'm not saying it's not necessarily the cities you would think it was, but...
Each one's a different
it's a different situation. Right. It's not like you can just say, oh, it's this thing or that thing or the other thing. Honestly, I think anytime you have a big city with a lot of people in it and a lot of people driving, you're going to get this, because that just kind of happens with humans anyway. Like, just when they're all kind of crammed together close, like in close proximity, there's going to be like some tempers flaring, you know what I mean? Because everybody that lives in a big city, you know, has said the drivers here are crazy. And somebody just said earlier, like, Tampa drivers are crazy. They are. Central Florida in general is pretty crazy. And somebody said earlier too, Bundy Data said I-4 is notorious. Yeah. And for good reason. I mean, I'm not saying that it's the craziest place I've ever driven, but
it's nothing compared to Brazil.
It's pretty bad. Yeah. I mean, the thing about I-4 too, and we have another additional thing to add to I-4 that maybe some other cities don't have, is that we also have a fuck ton of tourists, like going to Disney and stuff like that have no fucking idea where they're going, or are just kind of like clueless, and so they're kind of all over the road, or going super slow because they're looking at everything. So there's that too. So we also have that.
A lot of them are looking at their GPS.
Yeah, I mean, it's better. It's probably better now than it was, because back in the old days, like when everybody just had paper maps and everybody was getting lost all the time, it was probably like a lot worse. Like now, at least you have like fucking GPS to tell you where to go. But you got to put your sexual tyrannosaur hat on.
Gotta put my sexual tyrannosaur hat on. I'm gotta get more fucking sexy involved in this shit. Hold on, go to the restroom.
That's super sexy. Yeah, I'm getting really sexy. Hold on, I gotta pee. When was the last time Tom put on a wig? I was thinking about that earlier. Like, I took his beautiful, like, black Danzig wig, but he still has his mullet wig, and he still has his K-pop wig, which he never wears. He still has his Mozart wig, or his founding father wig, if you want to call it that, which he hasn't worn in a long time. But maybe we should like try to subtly talk him into putting on the Mozart wig. Okay, where was I? Yeah, they use I-4 as a straight run race course. Honestly, and look, I love going out, but if I would be happy if I never had to drive on I-4 ever again. Like, now that I work at home, I don't have to drive on I-4 anymore, which is nice. If I ever do, really the only other time, sometimes I have to go to meetings to like this one client, and it would be quicker going there on I-4, but fuck that noise. I always go the back way, because I'm not getting on there. I'm just not. the thing about it, they've improved the road a lot, like in the last few years. They actually have widened it. They made some turnaround lanes in the middle that are toll roads, so that are like express lanes. So that's kind of helped a little bit with the congestion. But when I was commuting, I-4 was like a fucking parking lot. Any weekday. And it didn't even matter if it was just kind of like, because I used to work from probably like 8 in the morning to like 6:30 at night. And so obviously it was like bad getting there. It took me like an hour and a half to get to a job that was maybe 10 miles away, 15 miles, something like that, 12 miles. And then it would take me like another hour and a half to get back home. So it was like another 3 hours because you would just sit there and just crawl and crawl and crawl because it was just like fucking... And it's a parking lot like for miles and miles and miles. Terrible. But they have done some improvements. We'll see how it goes. I mean, they have a lot of toll roads. They've added those express lanes. They did smooth everything out. They fixed some shit. Honestly, like last time we went downtown, which is probably like a few weeks ago now, or like a month ago, they've really done a nice job. They widened that part of like I-4, like all of the exits and stuff are like much nicer. It's much less hazardous. Like the visibility is much better. They put like all these big lights up so you can actually kind of see where you're going at night. So, you know, they have actually been working on it. But the thing about I-4 is that they're always working on it somewhere. And then by the time they're done working on it, then they have to start over where they started working on it like a few years ago, because now that's old. So now they have to fix that. And because people keep moving here and it just keeps like expanding and expanding. So I don't know.
He's trying to get me to put a wig on.
Well, I told you, I was like, you haven't like put the Mozart one?
No, yeah, it's been a while.
Or, well, Tila said the long black one. I was like, this is his long black one. Like I said, I stole his Danzig hair. I don't actually have a long black hair wig of mine.
Yay, finally made it to another live. Jenny, if you could tell Tom, Pat made a new Facebook and to re-add. It must be Pat Monstercraft. Is that what she's talking about? I don't know.
Oh, okay.
That's the only Pat I know I can think of. Yeah, he's good. Yeah, you want to put the Mozart wig on.
Yeah, you haven't worn that in a long time. Or the mullet.
I'll put it on. I'll put something on.
Or the mullet.
I'll put something on when I'm ready.
Or the K-pop wig.
The K-pop wig.
I think you wore that like one time.
Yeah,
although, to be honest, I put that on one time and I'm like, hey, that's pretty cute.
Yeah.
That looks kind of cute on me, I think.
You could put K-pop on.
Well, you know.
Yeah, Monster Craft. Okay.
Oh, okay.
She said Monster Crap.
Monster crap.
Yeah, Monster Crap or Monster Craft? Okay.
Monster crap. What's the matter, Pookie?
She's throwing that little fucking
okay.
mouse. She's throwing her toys.
I bought her because remember I said how she loves brush and I can't even brush my hair. I have to go in the bathroom and close both doors and lock them to brush my hair because if I pull the brush out, she's like,
yeah, brush.
So I bought her these little things that like stick on the corner of the wall that are like brushes and they have catnip in them. Oh my God. Look at her. She's spazzing.
Yeah, she's trying to kill.
She's trying to kill.
Monster Craft. All right.
Oh, okay. Monster crap.
Yeah.
It's Monster Cat.
Monster Cat.
C-A-T-T. Is Marineland still just south of Daytona? I think it's gone.
Yeah.
The last time I went over in that area, because I went to St. Augustine back in June of last year, so almost a year ago. And there were still signs for it, and I was like, holy shit, is that still open? I haven't been to that since I was little. I used to love Marineland.
There's only really one.
I don't think it's there anymore.
There are only two good theme parks you need to go to when you come to Florida. Universal. Universal fucking blows Disney out of the fucking water. And I don't have anything against Disney. It's just that last couple times I went, it just that park looks like shit. All right. Universal and Jesus Land. You got to go to fucking Jesus Holy Land tour. I've never been, but I want to see it because I don't want to goof on it.
I don't want to pay.
Yeah, I want to just go to say I went to it because
I kind of want to go too, but I don't want to pay.
Yeah, I don't really want to pay.
I read about it. Like I said,
it's small. It's
you
small.
could probably like do the shit in like 2 hours easily.
They got all kinds of shit down there, man. They got little slingshots where you get in there and they slingshot you around. And
Well, Orlando is all based around tourism.
Tourism.
All of it. We don't really have, I mean, citrus, we have that, and like strawberries and shit. We have some agriculture, but honestly, particularly Central Florida, tourism. So
it's,
in this area, pretty much everything is geared toward tourism.
Yeah, well, that's good, though. That's good. Tourism is always around. This is an entertainment. This is a party central. About partying, going in restaurants, strip clubs. Got one of the best strip clubs, Rachel's. Fucking,
They got good steaks in there.
Steak, yeah, got a good steak. Restaurants, just fucking clubs. Some of the best clubs. And just, it's just like a normal place. It's just fun. Kind of mashed together country and city, and it's just, I've been all over the world.
This is a weird place.
I've been all over the world. There's no place like there's no place like Florida. It's a place of extremes. It's like a very high end Louisiana. It's like Louisiana on steroids. More wealth. But it is kind of like Louisiana. A little bit.
Well, there's kind of like there's little bits of everything.
Yeah.
Because
Pirate stuff
Florida is kind of like where everybody ends up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Everybody comes here because the weather's nice. I mean, although that's arguable for my
All
opinion.
kinds of biker events. All kinds of biker events. Biker girls. Fucking
I mean, there's a massive biker
massive
culture.
fucking biker scene.
Big time. If you're into bikers, if you're into race cars, if you're into redneck shit.
Yeah. Horses. One of the biggest fucking horse fucking farms is just up the street here. They have whole fucking, it's like the Daytona 500. I don't even know the name of that farm. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
At the corner.
Yeah, we passed that. Yeah, we passed that the other day.
And you go there and it's like a trailer park because there's fucking.
They were doing like a huge. There was a huge thing.
Yeah.
Remember we went to the fucking oyster trough the other day, and I was like, "Holy shit, what's going on in there? It looks like fucking Disneyland."
Yeah, they show up in tour buses.
Yeah.
And the tour bus. These are beautiful tour buses, like rock stars, and they're trailing fucking racehorses with them and fucking show horses, and they're having huge events over here. I don't know the name of that fucking place, and I was in the horse business. I'd have to ask my mom what it was, because she said, "Oh, that place, it's worth fucking $10 million."
That's a massive place.
It's a massive place where they just have horse events. You know, fucking, but no, great fucking food. Even in this little area out here, great food. The fucking seafood's fucking great. It's just an unspoiled area. Everybody's moving out here to have fucking a good time, and they're not they're not about all this nonsense. And it's not overcrowded yet. It'll overcrowd eventually.
Some places are overcrowded.
It'll become like California, but I'll be dead by the time it becomes like that. It'll take another 30 years, but I'll be dead by then, so I don't care.
Like I said, it's a weird place. It's kind of a place where everybody comes to, so there's kind of like influences from everywhere. It's not one thing.
No, it's a bunch of shit.
It's a bunch of different shit.
It's got a good goth scene. It's got a good fucking
Which you
club
wouldn't
scene.
think, but it actually really does. It actually really does.
It has a natural defense system, a natural barrier, heat and humidity, and that keeps a lot of the fucking riffraff out of here. Because you have.
I hate it too, but I'm only here because
you have to want to be here.
Because I was born here and I can't afford to leave.
you have to want to be here. That fucking heat and humidity during the summer fucking drives all the weaklings out.
It's really not.
Yeah.
It's no joke, seriously.
Yeah.
And like I said, I was born here, and I still hate it.
Yeah.
I still hate it. And I don't know. I
It's a
wish.
good state. It's a good state. I've been to many states. It's a good state.
I could live somewhere where there were seasons.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It reminds me, I've been all over the United States.
There's no seasons.
Been all over the United States, been all over the world. It reminds me of all of the real good. It has all the good parts of a bunch of states that I liked combined into one state. It's a mishmash of a lot of stuff. It's like Louisiana, California, and Brazil, and Mississippi, and fucking Las Vegas, and everything all just rolled into one. You know. It's hot though, and you better get ready for that shit. It's just the way it is.
Bring your baby powder. You're gonna need that shit.
You have to fucking
and your bug spray.
yeah.
Yeah.
And what I do like about it is that you don't have to have a lot of money. Like, we got money around here. There's fucking rich people. We're in a rich neighborhood. You don't need a whole lot of money to live around here. I just go up the street, go to the biker bar. There's fucking poor people in there, fucking crackhead girls and shit. You know what I mean? It's such a mixed area. It's a mixed income. It's just everybody. It's because it's just life. You know?
Yeah, you never really know
It's
what
just
you're going
life.
to come across, to be honest.
Right.
I mean, as I mentioned earlier, the the kind of, it's cheaper to live here.
Yeah.
But if you have to have a job here, it doesn't pay as much as a similar job would pay elsewhere.
No, but it doesn't require as much here, though. It's cheaper.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, depends on what city you're into, I'm going to say.
It also depends on where, not only the city, the county.
Yeah.
It depends on your county.
So it depends. But like I said, wages in Florida do tend to be lower for similar jobs than other cities. So don't, if you have like a high paying job like somewhere else, don't expect to get paid the same in Florida because you won't.
No.
But because like I said,
a little further here.
Bitch, like I've been a graphic designer for more than 20 years. I don't think I ever made more than $13, $14 an hour, which is nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Right.
But at an actual job.
But that goes quite far in Florida. It's a little further.
Not as far as I would like.
That would be nothing in California.
That's what I'm saying.
You wouldn't be able to own anything.
But I'd be making more out there too. But that's, I'm just saying
you
that.
You wouldn't be living like this out there though.
That's true.
You just wouldn't.
It's like, so you have to like understand that there's like a trade-off. And like I said, it is hot as shit.
I was gonna.
And I'm not even talking about like hot, like desert hot. It is like swamp hot.
Humid.
You will have like sweaty ass crack, like sweat under your boobs, like all the time.
Yeah.
So just know that. Know that.
Okay, I was gonna show some biker fun.
Oh, before we get into the stuff, okay.
Hold on 1 second. This is the little fucking crackhead.
That's good. Now, Rebecca, tell me that story again. Tell me that story again. Did you say something about? No, tell me that story again. No, I had it. I gotta get that shit on the show. I gotta get that shit on the show that you said. What'd you say now? What'd you say? What was that? What is that about her? About the hermaphrodite? Fuck Johnny Depp and his hermaphrodite? Stop using
That's that girl he was talking about.
That was Rebecca, and we're talking about her in last week.
But like I said, I'm not really entirely sure. Like, she obviously did not want you to film her.
Yeah.
And I'm just kind of like, I don't know how comfortable I am with you, like, fucking filming, like, a obviously schizophrenic girl. For, like, amusement purposes.
Okay,
that's not cool.
I'm not worried about it.
Not cool.
Hold on.
Well, obviously you're not worried about it.
No, I'm not worried about it.
Agnes says, I hate humid and I hate heat.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably Florida would not be for you. It's really not. Like I said, I was born here and I'm not a fan. It's really uncomfortable for a large portion of the year. It doesn't ever really get cold. Like, sometimes it gets cold, but
What
are you doing? Do you mind?
who that
We're doing a
was?
show.
I was on Instagram, and that was Gia playing guitar.
Okay.
Yeah.
But, like, we're doing a show, though.
I'm doing a show.
So, knock it off.
I do what I'm doing.
But yeah, I'm just saying it's not I don't like it. I don't like it.
It's hot.
It's hot at Christmas time.
Yeah.
It's hot at Thanksgiving. It's hot. It's just always hot.
Yeah.
Every now and then it'll get cold and I'll get really excited about it, but it never gets under 30 degrees. Like, when it goes under 30 degrees, I'm like, oh my god, it's winter for one day. Or maybe 2 days, and then it's over, and I'm like,
No need for me. Is the northern part of Florida as bad as the rest, as far as the weather? It's worse.
Well, wait, the northern part of Florida, well...
Northern part won't be as hot as it is here.
But it's not really that much of a difference.
Yeah.
To be honest, like, Central Florida, South Florida, that's going to be hottest, obviously, and it's very, very, like I said, it's swampy. Even, like, Central Florida, Orlando, it was built on a swamp. it's a swamp.
Yeah.
And South Florida is a swamp.
Yeah.
So if you're not really into like super, super hot and just being like fucking damp and sweaty all the time,
Yeah.
then this is not for you.
Maniac says, I couldn't be a Florida goth because goth clothes are not designed for Florida. Yeah, you're kind of right.
I mean,
There's
it's
a lot of fishnet, a lot of fucking short, death rock almost kind of look. Fishnets, fucking sleeveless shirts, fucking pants and boots. You can do it.
But dude, how many times?
Shaved sides.
How many times in the summer
Yeah.
have I been like, okay, it's like really hot out tonight. It's like, are my eyebrows still on or have they melted off?
Yeah, right.
Because it's like
Right.
110 fucking degrees.
Okay, so what's the next case on this?
All right, so we're finally getting to that. All right.
Yeah, gotta get next.
Yeah, no swamp.
There you go.
Yeah, Florida goths have it rough without. Yeah, it's a struggle. I'm gonna say that. And honestly, I have a lot of really nice clothes in my closet that I can't wear. I mean, I maybe wear them like one time a year when it's cold enough. And this past year, it didn't really get cold enough. We had a couple cold nights, but nothing all that. I was kind of like wish there was winter, but I don't know. Like I said, I need to go somewhere there's seasons. This kind of it bums me out. I don't know. All right, so I talked about this like the shit that happened like in Orlando like yesterday, right? Now this other case that I had written down, this also happened in Florida. I promise they didn't all happen in Florida, but this one did too. And this happened in a place, I didn't even know this place existed. This place is called Beverly Hills. Now, apparently it's only 80 miles from Orlando, but I never heard of it. But it's called Beverly Hills. I'm like, okay. This happened back in late July of 2015. Now, okay. This is some fucked up shit right here. So we're going to get into a discussion about this. Because I listened to part of the 911 calls on this because there were several competing 911 calls going on for this. So there's two cars. No one's entirely sure who started this altercation. Okay? But we have one guy who, I don't know if he cut one guy off or if the other guy cut him off and then he got mad and then there was this whole thing. But they both had their wives in the car. The one guy who, spoiler alert, ended up getting shot and killed had his wife, his daughter, and his grandson in the car. The other guy just had his wife in the car. So they're on the road and something happened. Nobody saw the first part of this, but both of their wives called 911. This, like I said, this is late July 2015. Now, one of the guys that's in the car is named Candelario Gonzalez. He was 44. The other guy is named Eric Doyle. He's 51. And this is in Florida, Beverly Hills, which is about 80 miles northwest of Orlando, which, like I said, I never heard of that city, so that just goes to show. And I've lived around here my whole life, never heard of Beverly Hills. So what happened is that something took place. Somebody cut somebody off, somebody flipped somebody off, and somebody got aggravated. Nobody knows exactly who the aggressor was exactly. But Candelario Gonzalez, she's telling her wife, she's telling her husband, you can hear it on the 911 call. Apparently he decides this other dude, Eric Doyle, has done some fucked up shit. He's like, I'm going to follow him home and get his license number. That's what he's thinking of. His wife is trying to convince him wisely, yeah, fuck it, just go home. Let's not get involved in this. Let's just go home and that'll be the end of it. She even says, and I listened to the 911 call earlier, we're not going to follow him there, she says. He says, oh, I'm going to follow him right to his house. I don't know what this guy did, but they got into like some kind of altercation on the road, and he's like going to follow him. He's going to get his license number. Now, at this point, Eric Doyle, his wife, who was in his car, has also called 911. And Doyle says to the operator, the 911 operator, I'm going home. The guns are coming out, and I'm going to put it to his fucking head. That's what he says on the 911 call, because I heard it. Later on, he decides he's driving his house, and I guess Candelario Gonzalez and his wife were following him. Like I said, they were trying to get his license number because of whatever happened earlier. And then he says, they're following me to my house. I'll be there in 20 seconds. The guns are already out. That's what he says. So they go to Eric Doyle's house. And I guess Candelario Gonzalez and his wife, like, followed him there. And then Eric Doyle's wife can be heard on the 911 call saying, don't shoot. I've got 911 on the phone. But you can clearly hear 5 shots on the 911 call. Eric Doyle got Candelario Gonzalez out of his car and shot him 5 times in front of his wife, his daughter, and his 7-year-old grandson, and kept the wife and the children at gunpoint until the cops got there. Because he apparently felt threatened because this person followed him to his house. They were trying to get his license number, or they were, I don't know what happened prior to that, because like I said, they don't have a recording of that. They only have like the 911 call. So he basically shot Candelario Gonzalez dead.
For taking pictures of his license plate?
I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. Word to people. Keep that fucking phone in your damn pocket. Don't take pictures of people. You don't understand how a motherfucker's going to react. I was at
like,
Starbucks.
don't do any. Just right. Assume that everyone is a maniac.
Yeah.
That's what I do.
I was at Starbucks one time and had some Scientologists.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. Start making fun of me because I was wearing motorcycle armor. And they started acting funny. The woman that was with them was like, cool about it. She said, oh, yeah. Well, she said, is that from... And she wanted to know why I was wearing striker armor when I took a thing on, right?
I'm like, so
you know how Scientologists are,
I don't
right?
get hurt when I crash?
And
like, why is that weird?
Because they're fucking Scientologists. So I fucking went and says, look, what the fuck are you talking about, dude? And they all pulled their phones out. Had I been crazy, I'd have fucked those dudes up for pulling the phones out.
I mean, they're Scientologists, so they probably had it.
Crazy.
They probably had it coming.
I am a little bit crazy. Okay. I would have popped that one dude right in the top of his head, missing him in front of the other ones, to get that bitch on camera. But I wasn't as fucking I wasn't as fucking suicidal. I'm not suicidal. You know what I mean? I have too much shit to lose at this point. Had they got me a fucking 10 years ago, 20 years ago, it would have been different. You know what I mean? I wouldn't have taken that well. And here's the deal. They still have people like that now running around.
Well, there's always like a new crop of people.
Yeah, right. You go down to the fucking Oasis. Go down there and fuck around with some of them biker gangs and do that and see what happens. You might think you're the toughest man in the world. You're gonna come out of there wearing high heels and have a G-string on when they're done with you. Make you feel like a woman. All right. You're gonna think you're in a maximum security prison because that's where they come from.
Well, I kind of feel like that's the reason why.
Yeah,
I just think this entire shit.
Right.
I don't know. That's why road rage. Like I said, I've done it before myself. I understand getting angry at people doing stupid shit, or not even stupid shit, but aggressive shit. That's what makes me mad. I don't get mad at people doing dumb shit, because I do dumb shit. People that do stuff on purpose, like trying to run you off the road on purpose or something like that. Yeah, that makes me mad. But if you're just doing something dumb because you're not paying attention, that doesn't make me mad, because you're just an idiot. I don't care. That's not, you're not being aggressive on purpose. You're just you're just being a dummy.
Tila comes in and goes, man, I feel like a woman. Tila, you need to feel like a woman. You go get your man and get him on the show and let him watch, and we're gonna talk about what kind of woman you are.
I mean,
with she's laughing. She's in there laughing.
I mean, okay. So the thing about this particular case, and it gets fucking crazier. The thing about this particular case, I don't really know what happened before the 911 calls, because both of their wives called 911, and I will note that both of their wives, wisely, told them to, like, knock it the fuck off. The wife of Candelario Gonzalez said, please don't follow this dude home. And the wife of the other dude, Eric Doyle, said, please knock it off and don't shoot him. Neither of the dudes listened, much to their detriment. So, just gonna put that out there. But so that, I don't know what went on before that. I don't know who was the aggressor. Going by past history, and even the investigation at the time said that Eric Doyle, the guy that ended up shooting and killing the guy, was probably the aggressor, even though he tried to play victim later on. But like I said, I don't know exactly what happened. And even at the time, like the sheriff's captain, whatever, like he said, oh, well, I just like shot people because like I thought my wife was in danger. And the sheriff were like, yeah, we don't really buy that. So, okay. They said, and this was a quote from an article I found, between the evidence that was found on scene, couple that with the 911 calls, we felt comfortable that Mr. Doyle, who was the murderer, was the primary aggressor. He does have a concealed weapons permit, so the gun that he was holding was not illegal. He did actually have permission to have that in his vehicle. It just seems really weird how he thought, like, oh, somebody's following him. It's like, oh my God, I feel so, like, threatened. And I don't know. To me, it just seemed like he wanted an excuse to shoot somebody, but whatever. Now, so they arrested him because he fucking killed a dude in front of his entire family. So there was that. So they arrested him and they charged him with second-degree murder and aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. However, a little over a year after this incident, in September of 2016, they dropped all charges against him, citing, they said he acted in self-defense, that he actually thought that maybe he was in danger from an unarmed man driving with his wife and children in his car, who followed him back to his house to get his information, which, like I said, was probably not the wisest move, but doesn't deserve getting killed over. But yeah, so this dude, like, guns down a dude in front of his entire family, and he got off with it. So
I'd have to be there to see it.
Hooray.
If the jury said that the jury thought that he was defending himself, I had to find out more about it. Because it's possible. Let's say that's the same thing that happened with that black dude that was running through that neighborhood. You had some guys running him down in a truck. They had some shotguns. I saw the video. And they said, look, we want to stop. We want to talk to you. Stop. We want to talk to you. And the dude fucking turned around, fucking grabbed the shotgun, and then fucking that dude shot him for grabbing the shotgun. There's two different ways of looking at that. You could say he thought he was being pursued by some guys in a truck with fucking guns and running for his life. When they fucking jump on him, he fucking grabs the gun to defend himself, but then they shoot him. But you could also say from the other point of view, we wanted to question him. We were fucking, we thought he was stealing some stuff, and fucking, you know what I mean? You could say they got convicted. It was a similar situation to that. They followed him. You're not really supposed to be following people, you know? Depending on what jurisdiction you're in. Here's the thing, people. Everybody wants to live in a world of right and wrong. Everybody wants to live in a world with rules. There aren't any rules. Rich people decide what the rules are. You threaten a rich person, they're a billionaire, they own corporations, they dictate to you what the rules are to defend themselves. That's just how it is. We want to live in a world that has rules, but it really doesn't. It's all situational. The black dude that was running, I could see that maybe he was scared that dudes were chasing him. But I could also see it from the other point of view. Guys thought he was stealing something. They wanted to talk to him. I could see that point. I could see that point too. If I were to call on it, I would say the dudes that wanted to talk to the guy probably were in the right, because they kind of saw themselves as defending their own neighborhood. I really don't care about what laws are. I think laws are a social construct made up by white people. There really shouldn't be laws. There should just be motherfuckers dealing out damage to other people. And it should be a mafia, really, is what it is. Because when you look through history over the thousands of years, that's really what it was. Human natures are just groups. They're tribal groups, and they're mafias. So I don't fucking look for right and wrong in these people. It's not a world of good and evil. It's a world of evil and evil. Evil versus evil. That's what it really is. But I'm okay with that. Was this dude in the wrong? I don't know. I don't even care.
To me, it kind of, well...
I don't even care. They're all bad. Okay, whatever. They're all bad.
That's very insightful of you, Tom.
Yeah, they're all
So
bad.
anyway.
They're all bad.
Anyway. Where was I? So, yeah.
I'm fucked up anyway.
Yeah, I obviously. Thank you. You're being very helpful. So yeah, it's just kind of like, okay. I feel like as much, I guess he was successful in like painting himself as the victim. Like he thought that he was in danger from this person. But it's pretty clear from the 911 call that his wife was telling him, hey, don't shoot that guy. Hey, don't shoot that guy. Like, I'm on the phone with 911 right now. You can hear the fucking gunshots in the 911 call. He just kind of had them lined up outside the car, and it seemed like he just shot the dude, and then he just, like, held the gun on the rest of the family until the cops got there. I don't really think that he was in any danger, and I think he just used that as an excuse, but... okay, whatever. I'm sure he was terrified of this person that was in this car, and he just had to shoot them. And now they're dead, so great. But yeah, he got off, and he's still running around, so that's fantastic. So here's another one that happened. October 22nd, 2015. A man named Alan Garcia. He had just picked up his 2 kids from a school in Albuquerque, New Mexico. He's trying to get off the freeway, and another car comes and, like, tries to force him out of the lane. Don't know why exactly, but, you know, people are assholes like that, and that's what they do. So, because the guy had tried to, like, force him out of the lane, Alan Garcia kind of, like, makes a gesture at him, is like swearing, like, what the fuck, man? Like, most people would. I would definitely do that. But they tell you not to. But like I said, it's blaming the victim, but... in a lot of ways, it's just kind of like, hey, don't get yourself killed over, like, some stupid shit that doesn't matter. So there's that, too. So he's swearing at the other guy and, like, you know, gesturing at him. And at that point, the other guy in the car, who obviously had some issues, opens fire on Alan Garcia's truck. And he opens fire, and it ends up hitting his 4-year-old daughter, who was also in the car, in the head, and killed her. So, there's that. Everybody fucking calm down. Seriously. So yeah. One guy cuts off another guy. One guy has the audacity to say, hey, what the fuck? Why are you cutting me off? And then he's like, oh, well, I don't like that somebody told me that I cut somebody off, so I'm just going to open fire and kill your 4-year-old kid. That's nice. So yeah. Alan Garcia tells the cops, I heard 2 gunshots. His 7-year-old son, who was also in the car, says to his dad, you know, that his little sister was bleeding, which is horrible. And look at Pookie, like, took over the fucking co-host seat. What are you doing? You gonna be co-host, Poke? Okay. So, yeah. They actually did identify the suspect later on. It was a dude named Tony Torres. Now, after he had opened fire to the car, he didn't know that he'd actually shot a little girl in the head. Not that it makes it any better, but he kept chasing Alan Garcia's truck and fired 2 more times. At which point, Alan Garcia, as you would, like, he pulls over and he's trying to give first aid to his daughter, and he calls 911 and stuff like that, because obviously his daughter is bleeding profusely at this point. His daughter's name was Lilly, by the way. And she was, like, laying on the tailgate. Now, they actually did end up finding Tony Torres a couple days after this incident. Now, when they caught him, he did admit to shooting at the family as they were driving. This is Interstate 40 in Albuquerque. That's kind of the main east-west freeway in Albuquerque, New Mexico. And he got charged with murder, assault, child abuse, and a bunch of other crimes. And ended up doing a court appearance from jail via video. Now, he had a $650,000 cash-only bond. What ended up happening was that they caught him because I guess, like, I don't know if, like, he turned himself in or if somebody that saw it, like, turned him in. So basically, Tony Torres allegedly cut off Alan Garcia. Alan Garcia had the audacity to say, hey, what the fuck are you doing, to, like, swear at him, at which point Tony Torres takes it up 100 notches and starts shooting into his car and kills his 4-year-old daughter who was in the back seat. So, that's nice. So 2 nurses show up to the site, try to save the little girl. Ambulance came and they took her to the hospital, but unfortunately she passed away. A 4-year-old girl, Lilly Gonzalez, died because her dad swore at somebody. So, Now, I think what ended up happening, like, after this incident happened, like I said, this is back in 2015, the cops put out a thing for, like, $25,000, information leading to the arrest, whatever. They knew what the car looked like, and they knew that it had a spoiler, they knew it had tinted windows, and that it had a University of New Mexico license plate. And there was all kind of, like, fucking public outcry about it, obviously, because it was like a little 4-year-old girl. When they caught Tony Torres, it turned out that he had a bunch of, not convictions, but he had a bunch of kind of like violations in the past that he had somehow wiggled his way out of. So, like, over the past 10 years. Now, the only crime that he actually got prosecuted for was, like, a misdemeanor. It was, like, speeding. But, because he pleaded guilty to that. But prior to that, he also had other, he also had other charges against him, like, child abuse, aggravated battery of a household member. There was that. And the aggravated battery case, the victim died. I don't know if he died as a result of the aggravated battery or if something else was going on, but because presumably the victim was going to be testifying against him when they died, like, the charges were dropped, so there was that. He'd also been accused of domestic violence in 2006, but somehow wiggled out of that as well. So this was clearly not a real stable person that was driving around, that couldn't even, like, deal with one person swearing at them when they cut him off in traffic and killed a 4-year-old girl because of it. Like I said, everybody fucking calm down. Now, so finally, December of 2016, he got sentenced to 16 years in prison on a murder charge. Now, he did apologize to the girl's family, which, fine, but, a little bit of an empty gesture at that point. So he actually got a plea deal. I think they were going to give him the death penalty, but he got a plea deal because he got a couple cases of assault and first-degree murder dismissed, and then he put in an Alford plea to second-degree murder. If you don't know what an Alford plea is, it's basically you're not admitting any guilt, but you're also saying, yeah, you have enough evidence to convict me if this actually does go to trial, so that's what he's going to do. So he pleaded that to second-degree murder, so he got that. Now, at the trial, he said, and this is a quote, "I'm sorry for taking the life of Lily. I had no intention of hurting anyone that day. I asked for forgiveness from the bottom of my heart. I thought I was going to be the next road rage victim. He just had to put that little I'm the victim thing at the end, though, didn't he? He killed a fucking 4-year-old girl over nothing. So, sorry, you know, excuse me if I'm not really all that sympathetic. But yeah, he said, oh, I feared for my life because blah, blah, blah. I'm like, yeah, I'm sure you probably didn't. It's just, I don't know. I don't know. This is making me mad. All right. So let's talk about this. Now, you probably know something about this, Tom, because this was like a pretty famous internet motorcycle thing that happened in Manhattan in New York City in 2013.
Oh,
the Hollywood Stuntz.
Yeah. Okay,
assault.
I can add my own angle on all this. Okay, from my motorcycle experience. All right. Yeah.
You know about this?
No, about how to beat that dude's ass.
You should not beat that dude's ass.
How to beat that dude's ass. I fucking saw how it happened. I watched the whole fucking video. I'd have beat his ass. Now, would it have been legal? No, of course not. No, but I still would have beat his ass. Go ahead. Tell a story.
So September 29th, 2013.
There's a reason why I had to beat his ass. I watched how he was driving. I saw what he was doing. And I also understand Chinese culture. In Chinese culture, if you own a car, you are superior to a person who owns what they call a motorcycle. And what they call a motorcycle is anything with 2 wheels. And in China, what they're talking about is a motor scooter. They look down on people who have motor scooters as poor people. There was a fucking group of dudes fucking running in a big old event that they had promoted online, and they wanted to do stunts on the street. And this guy was acting up and trying to get in the way of the event. It was like a parade. A parade on the freeway. They're trying to record each other doing stunts on the freeway and everything. And he caught their attention, and he was doing power braking on him. And he was flexing that he had an SUV to his girlfriend, which meant that he was a higher class than these guys on 2 wheels. Most of these guys on 2 wheels were black. It was a mixed crowd of black and white. They fucked this dude up. And I saw the whole thing. And was it wrong? Yeah, it was wrong, but I still would have done it. I'd do all kinds of shit that's wrong. I would have fucked that dude up. But go ahead.
Well, hopefully
I don't care that it's wrong. I would have fucked him up and said, yeah, this shit's wrong. I'm going to fuck you up more because you're making me do something that's wrong. Always blame the victim. Always.
Tom.
Of course.
Y'all need to sober up a little bit. You're saying some stupid shit right now.
It's not stupid. It's exactly what it was.
It is,
I saw the video.
It is stupid.
Dude is an asshole. He needed his ass beat.
Everybody in this situation, everyone in this situation was an asshole.
Thank you.
Everyone.
This was not a situation of good versus evil.
And again, this is kind of a situation where why are dudes are idiots. I'm sorry, dudes are idiots.
It was
why do they do this crap?
Versus evil fucking situation.
They will get into they will go to prison for the stupidest fucking shit.
But that's the way it was. They were mad. They got very mad at this dude. Go ahead and tell a story, Jenny.
They have no.
Go ahead and tell a story.
They have no fucking conception of normal consequences or anything like that. It's like they don't give a shit about any of that.
This happened in a Mad Max style fucking situation between men on the road.
Yeah, dudes
doing
are stupid.
Their thing, and they started fighting on the road.
Dudes are stupid.
And hey,
thank you.
Hey, okay. I will tell you this. In that motorcycle event, I'm not going to call them a gang because they didn't hang out regularly. It wasn't a gang. It was just an event that they threw. In that event, who did this shit were black gangsters who didn't even have a fucking motorcycle license and white cops in the same fucking gang beating this Chinese dude's ass for the way he was driving.
I mean, like I said, it wasn't a gang in the sense that a lot of them didn't really know each other. But yeah, some of them were off-duty cops. They got in trouble for that later.
Yeah. And a man knows when another man needs his ass beat. And we know that the law has nothing to do with it. Really, the law has no say in when another man needs his ass beat. It's a fucking thing of honor. A man's instincts tell him when it's time to beat another man's ass, to keep that bitch in check.
And then those man's instincts also get him into prison.
That's because other men did that. It has nothing to do with right and wrong. Other men did that.
Okay.
And those are bitch men that did that to him. Those men are of lesser status.
Or it could be.
They are of lesser status.
That if you do dumb shit, then your actions come back and bite you in the ass. It
That's
could be that.
Enforced on you by bitch men who couldn't have done what real men did, using laws on paper that some bitches might want to write, but then they use other real men in uniform to enforce this on other real men who weren't in uniform.
How about everybody not do this stupid shit?
It does not make
everybody just
sense.
Not do this stupid shit.
If you're a real
and you
man,
will not go to prison.
Don't listen to these motherfuckers. Do what you do. Don't listen to them.
Don't tell them that.
Don't listen to them.
Jesus Christ.
I'm just telling you, don't
tell dudes to just do whatever they want to. Do you know how that goes? Don't tell that.
That's
don't
the
tell
way
that
it's been going for thousands of years.
Yeah, and we don't like
back
that.
Back to the Scorpion
We don't
King
like
level.
that.
This is back in Scorpion
Look, I'm a girl.
King and fucking this is the way
I'm a girl. We don't like that.
It will be that
Knock
way
it off.
forever. It will be that way forever.
Knock it off.
It will be that way forever.
Not if we kill you all.
No, it won't happen. This is a temporary situation that is falling apart, and it goes back to bro-ness. Eventually, it goes back to bro. It'll go back to bro. It's going back to, it is returning to brohamness as we speak. It is the cycle. It is the cycle of life. But it's okay.
Are you gonna sing the Lion King song now?
I'm gonna sing the Lion King song, but it's okay.
You don't know how that song goes.
happy with. No, I never watched that shit. But I'm happy with the way that it's going. Because
I know you are.
It's just
because you are a crazy person.
No, I'm not crazy.
Tila says, "Always blame the victim. Tom is from another planet." Y'all. Yeah.
No.
Yeah, he is.
No.
He
Yeah,
is.
thank you.
He's from another planet.
Thank you.
He's not from here.
No, I'm just.
That's for sure.
Not from this planet.
No, you're not.
I'm just telling you the way it is.
Yeah,
If
okay.
a motherfucker fucks with
Tom's the only one that knows how things are, and you have to listen to him because he's the only one that's
I'm
right
just telling
in the
you,
whole entire history of
when
the
you
world.
listen to this story, you will understand. If you were a man, go ahead. It's a man thing. Go ahead. Tell him the story of it. Tell him how this goes.
Why should
The video used to be on YouTube from beginning to the end of everything that happened, and I was like, "Yeah, that dude needs his ass beat." The average person watching how this happened, that dude needed his ass beat. He just did. Cops agreed and gangsters agreed. They were in the motorcycle fucking crowd. He just needed his ass beat. That's all.
Tila said,
It doesn't have anything to do with... Look. It doesn't have anything to do with...
Let me talk.
No, I'm just saying, look. I said he just needed his ass beat. I didn't say he needed to be killed. His wife didn't need to be fucking fucked up.
Yeah, well, that got involved
happened.
too. Yes, someone tried to pull her out of the car and said, "You're gonna get it too."
Yeah, but it didn't really happen. It didn't really happen.
Okay, well,
it didn't happen.
Yeah,
It's
well,
just,
you know how
they
that
were
would have
just
gone
talking
if they
shit.
could have got her out of the car.
Dude needed his ass beat.
If they could have got her out of the
They
car,
were
and she didn't
very
even
mad.
do anything.
They were very mad. I would have been mad.
I'm
too.
sorry, but that's no excuse.
Excuses have nothing to do with it. Only ability has something to do with it. They could do it, so they did it. It didn't
Yeah,
work.
that's really not the way to run shit. Sorry.
That's the way the
I'm
rich
sorry.
people do it.
You're not rich,
They aren't either,
you know?
but they did it.
And there are consequences. And don't cry about the fucking
No.
consequences.
The
You go to fucking prison.
You just...
Then don't fucking cry about
They
it.
come out of prison, though. They come out.
You know?
They go to prison, they come out of prison.
Rest of us don't want to live in the world with y'all, is what we're saying.
The world happens. The world happens, and you...
Yes,
nobody
thank you.
has any
I
choice.
live in it also.
No one has any choice. It just happens. It just happens.
You kind of act like you're the only person that knows what the world is
It
like.
happens.
Everybody lives in the
just
same
saying
world
that
as
it
you
happens. I'm just...
do. You know?
I'm
Yeah,
just
we
saying-
know.
I'm just saying that it happens.
We're just not.
I'm not here to judge
crazy
it.
like
I'm just
you
not
are.
here to judge it. Yeah,
We're
I'm
normal.
I understand it.
We're normal.
I understand it.
So,
I'm vibing with it.
okay. Tila says, "What's Tom drinking?" I have no idea.
Tequila.
To be honest with
Tequila.
you.
Do you want
Yeah.
Okay.
Tila says, notice these are all dumbass dudes. Yeah, I did notice that.
Tila, go ahead and check off. Go ahead and check off, Tila.
It's true.
You haven't even heard the story, Tila. You haven't even heard the story yet.
There's not a single woman involved in this. Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
So
there would never be a woman involved.
it's all
This is
dumbass
between men.
dude shit.
It was between
It's all
men.
dumbass
This is
dude shit.
between men.
Because dudes do the stupidest fucking shit. What the fuck? Like, and I'm not saying that women don't do stupid shit too. We absolutely do. And there's like even like women road rage shit like that happens. But there's a reason why it's like 96, 97% men. There's a reason for that. There's a reason why 90% of serial killers are men. There's a reason for that. Y'all stupid. You rarely see women on the road. Well, it's like I said, it's not worth it. Women, we have too much to lose. You know what I mean? It's just kind of like, this is really not, I'm driving in traffic. Like I said, I've had road rage shit where I got really mad and I wanted to kill a motherfucker. I'm not saying it doesn't happen. I've done it myself. But, and I've done dumb shit too, but it's like, after a while, you're kind of like, it's not worth it. It's like, this is really not, like, ooh, a dude cut me off in traffic. It's like, is that really worth, like, me getting killed or somebody else getting killed? No, it's not worth it.
That's not what happened, though.
It's just,
Yeah.
You missed the first part of that conversation, so.
Dude was
Thank you.
brake checking people and trying to stop the parade.
Well, can we add, though, that the parade, they did not have any permits.
They don't need permits.
And they were
had
not,
sheer numbers.
and they were blocking all the traffic
Hold on
for
one second.
people trying to get out of the city. So there was that. So I can see getting annoyed by all these fucking people. Tom needs to have his own segment, the true way of things. Yeah, it's just kind of like it's turned into podcast rage. Yeah, there's stuff that happens. Look, I'm a woman. I understand, but you guys are not really that hard to figure out. Like all the men stuff that happens that only men can understand. Like I understand that. It's just I understand it. I just think it's dumb. It's dumb. So all right, here we go. September 29th, 2013. So there's a group of, but it's not a gang. I know that was kind of like a thing later on. It's like, oh, it's a motorcycle gang. It wasn't a gang. It was just like an event that kind of like they organized online. They didn't really, some of them knew each other, but it wasn't like, it wasn't like a gang in the way that you would perceive it. So they have this like annually. And it's a rally and they call it Hollywood Stuntz. Now the guy that organized it is a guy named Jamie Lau. Now, what they would do is that they wanted to do, like, they would try to, and like I said, they didn't have permits or anything like that. They would, like, try to block off streets going into Times Square in Manhattan. And they would, like, try to do stunts and all this other kind of stuff. Like I said, they didn't have permits. So you can see how people would get kind of, like, pissed off because it's like, hey, I'm actually, like, trying to get somewhere or I live here or whatever, and you guys are in the way. Look, I grew up in Daytona Beach, and it's like, I don't mind bikers and stuff like that, but you guys blocking my traffic when I have to get someplace, I'm going to get irritated with you. So just, I'm just saying. So, so they have like, thousands of people show up in four-wheelers, motorcycles, dirt bikes, whatever the fuck. And they show up and they try to, they essentially on purpose try to like block traffic illegally so they can like do tricks and shit like that.
Yeah. Like Antifa and BLM.
Are we really going to start that now?
Oh, hell yes. We're going that way. Like Antifa or BLM.
Can I stop the show now? Can I please stop the show?
Okay,
now?
go ahead.
Can I please continue?
Wait, you want to stop the show?
I was going to stop the show if you're going to go that way.
But it's like that. Same thing.
Can I please do my story?
Go ahead.
Please don't make me smack you. I really didn't want to smack you on this show.
Nobody's going to smack you.
Seriously. I still have like 2 more cases to do.
Okay.
I knew this was going to happen.
Okay, no, it's all right.
So, I'm going to say, since 2009, you were actually not allowed to drive through this area of Broadway in Times Square because it's been pedestrianized. But, like I said, the motorcyclists, they kind of like try to take it over. They try to do tricks, blah, blah, blah. Now, so the guy that got beat up, he wasn't the only person that complained. There were actually 200 other people that complained that day, like people blocking traffic, bikers blocking traffic. and like being in areas where they weren't supposed to be. So there was that. Reckless driving, yada yada. So the guy that was driving the SUV, Alexian Lean, so he comes across a group of motorcyclists, bikers in Lower Manhattan. The guy, he was 33 years old then, back in when this happened, 2013. He was a banker, Chinese American, and he was going to. Thank you, Tila, for Tom's first smack. Go ahead, Jenny.
Don't listen to
See,
not worried about Tila.
She knows. She knows.
She ain't said shit. You ain't said shit, Tila. Go ahead.
Well, you know.
I'm just telling you the way it is. Matter of fact, they got to do this. Tom needs his own segment called "Tom Telling You the Way It Is."
Like I said, why don't you do your own segment?
Yeah, I will. We'll put that shit. If I do my own segment,
why don't you do your own channel?
Well, I've been trying to. I just never really get around to it. I've been so busy.
You haven't been busy.
No, if I'm gonna do,
you just want me to do it and help you, and I'm not gonna do that.
I just don't really care.
If you want your own channel, you got to figure it out. I'm not gonna do it.
If I do my own channel, I want to live stream through that shit. That which means I'd have to fucking do my own fucking Wi-Fi hotspot probably.
Well, you better figure out how to do that.
And I know how to do it. I just fucking all that.
Yeah, it's a lot of work, isn't it?
Yeah.
And he doesn't want to do it.
Yeah, I don't really want to do it.
I kind of feel like he wants me to do it.
I don't care that much.
And I'm not going to do it.
I don't really care that
I got enough work to do. I can't do your shit too. You figure it out.
If I get off into it, I'll do it. We'll see.
Okay.
I don't think there'd be enough demand. I don't think anybody wants to hear what I want to have to say about it. I wouldn't drink on my shit. I would, I would fucking actually do some training and stuff. I have a bunch of stuff I could show people. Not so much y'all, but maybe like other people. We'll see. Like
so do it. I keep waiting.
How to pack a ruck and fucking calling bullshit on a lot of shit that I hear, on the internet, and just no.
Tila says, I love Tom. Right upside his head. Lots of love to give, she says.
Yeah. Ain't worried about tea. Just send me some more tea. So send me more money, tea. That's all.
Yeah, and Tom, what's up with the cooking show? See, that's the thing. Don't
I never
seriously.
Said anything about a cooking
anything
show. I never. You
have.
Anything. No.
Anything that he says on the show.
No.
He's not going to do it.
I never said anything about a cooking show.
He's not going to do it.
When I mentioned a cooking show, I said, well, the lighting has to be fucking just right to do cooking show because fucking food looks like shit on a camera under normal lighting. It looks terrible. You know what I mean? So you have to have fucking badass lighting. I'd have to fucking set up a whole goddamn studio in the fucking kitchen down there. It's a lot of work. And there wouldn't be a lot
imagine
of payback.
that.
There wouldn't be a lot of payback.
Imagine that.
I wouldn't make much money on it.
Yeah, neither do I.
You're right.
Well, that's what I mean. That's what I'm trying to tell you. It's a lot of work. So I kind of feel like you want to do your own show, but I think you low key want me to do it.
No, I don't care.
Or at least
if I do my own show, it'll be just nothing but live streaming, and I'll be talking about current events. It really wouldn't take me much to talk about current events. Really, it'd be easy, but I don't think there'd be an audience.
Well, there might be, but like I said, even if you're just doing that, I mean, you still have to do like graphics for the show. You still have to if you want to do like an audio podcast, you have to figure that out for the RSS feed.
Nope.
You have to figure all that out.
Nope, I wouldn't do any of that.
I
wouldn't have any audio. I wouldn't have any fucking graphics or nothing. Would just do it fucking super, super basic.
Yeah. You all right? You awake or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just saying, I wouldn't do anything for the show. I would just live stream and talk.
But see, like I said, if you want to do it, you really have to like commit to it. Like I said, it's a lot of work. I think kind of people think that, you can just have a YouTube show and like you make money off it. That's not the case. You actually have to it's like a full-time job pretty much.
Yeah.
And I have 3 of them, full-time jobs. And this is one of them. So it is like actually a lot of work. you do have to put a lot of work into it, into a lot of the graphics and stuff. And I'm lucky because I can do a lot of that myself. But, you know, if you don't know how to do a lot of that stuff, it's like kind of a pain in the ass. So, yeah. So the whole thing started with this Hollywood Stuntz thing. The SUV, which was driven by Alexi and Lean, he comes across this group of motorcyclists in Lower Manhattan. Now, at the time, he had his wife and his 2-year-old daughter in the car. They were actually going to New Jersey because it was him and his wife's anniversary, and they were going somewhere to, like, celebrate it. Now, he actually called 911 at first because he saw a bunch of motorcyclists running a red light and almost hitting a woman with a baby. Now, when he called 911, I guess he was, like, in between, like, New York and New Jersey, so he got a New Jersey 911 dispatcher. And he said to the New Jersey person, like, look, there's a lot of bikers out here, and it's like they're driving really dangerously. They're popping wheelies. They almost hit a woman. They're kind of, like, going by cars and, like, smacking the tops of cars, shit like that, and they're trying to, like, block all the cars. So he's like, I'm just going to try and go around them. So he, like, kind of drives sort of past. Now, basically, it's kind of like, as I said, this wasn't the first time that this group of bikers had taken over this section of Manhattan. The cops were very familiar with it. There were thousands of them. Like I said, it wasn't legal. They didn't have permits. That part of the area was pedestrian only, but they were kind of like known for blocking off all the traffic so they can do tricks and shit like that. Now, his wife did actually, she got mad and she threw like part of a bottle of water that she drank out of and like part of a plum that she'd kind of eaten off, and she kind of threw it at him because she was mad. So she did that, like at her window.
Ding.
Huh?
Yeah, bad mistake. But go ahead.
What?
She threw stuff at him.
Yeah.
I remember all this.
Like I said, she was mad.
Yeah, yeah.
So she was like throwing
That's why
stuff.
it came at her
Well,
later.
because they were trying to get somewhere and they couldn't get anywhere because everything was blocked.
Okay, good.
And so, yeah. So she did that, and then one biker came and punched their driver's side mirror, which broke it. And then that other biker was like gesturing to like other bikers, like, "Hey, come here and like fuck with this dude," and then like yelling at them and threatening them and stuff like that, and screaming profanities at them and making this gesture right here, the slitting throat gesture. That's what he said. Now, after this, on the Henry Hudson Parkway, which is Upper Manhattan, another motorcyclist named Christopher Cruz merges in front of Lean and put his brakes on. So he brake checked him, and then he quickly slowed down, and then the Range Rover that Lean was driving kind of like hit the back of the motorcycle because the guy had stopped real quick. Now, in this situation, Christopher Cruz reportedly sustained minor injuries after being struck by the SUV. So Lean stopped, all the motorcyclists stopped. Now, at this point, the video, which is available online if you would like to watch it, it's everywhere, because this is a pretty famous case. Video shows a bunch of bikers gathering around this Range Rover, and they all kind of gather around the car, and they start like hitting and kicking it. So at this point, Lean decides he's gonna like try to get the fuck out of there, so he puts his foot on the gas and like speeds up
And runs over it.
and runs over 3 motorcycles and one guy named Edwin Mises, I guess is how you pronounce his last name.
Yeah.
Now he had got off his bike and was like checking on Christopher Cruz, I guess. So Lean just like kind of just like run over him. At this point, like Lean said that his wife was just kind of like, just go, go. Like, let's get the fuck out of here. So he just went like without really like worrying about it. And he like ran over a bunch of bikes and a dude. So, he says that he didn't really know what to do. He's like, I don't know what to do. It's like, it's everything. They're kicking my car and blah, blah, blah. So he just like went, and she's like, just go. And she's like, hey, there's a space over there. So he just like made a hard right because it was like an opening, and he just went that way, and there was that. Now, Mises did sustain some severe injuries. His back was broken. and he had a punctured lung. Now, Mises later said, well, I was just checking on Christopher Cruz after the Range Rover hit him, and I was walking back to my bike, and then I got run over. So there was that. So, like I said, everyone's assholes in this. Like, no one made good decisions in this situation. Now, at this point, everyone's mad at Lean, the guy that was driving the SUV, because he had run over that one guy.
He ran over 3 guys.
Well, he ran over the bikes and ran over one guy. He ran over 3 bikes and 1 person. It wasn't 3 dudes.
When you see this,
it was 3 bikes and 1 person.
When you see this shit on video, you'll see it's a bunch of dudes in a fucking pissing match, really, of whose dick is bigger than whose.
Which is why it's dumb.
And you have a bunch of guys, fucking lots of them, on
no
motorcycles.
one cares how big your dick is, so just calm down.
A bunch of dudes on motorcycles it's a cross-section of humanity, white, black, outlaw, and fucking cops, all in this fucking thing. And they're trying to have a party on the fucking streets, doing wheelies and fucking taking pictures of each other. They're grandstanding and stunting and fucking trying to get attention. You got other guys blocking traffic. All this stuff about, well, we can't go somewhere. There's road guards to events like this where they try to block traffic to keep the cops out of this fucking flying circus of maniacs doing fucking stunts on a public street. Is it legal? No, it's not legal. It's not legal. But they're doing it anyway. It's like a protest. That's why Jenny got
It's not a protest, though.
From
They're
a
not
biker's
protesting
point of
anything.
view, from a biker
They
point
could do
of
that
view,
anywhere.
From a biker's point of view, it is like a protest.
They could do that
Fuck
anywhere.
all you cagers. You gonna show up in 4 wheels? Fuck all you cagers. We're on 2 wheels. That's what they're doing. Okay,
Right, I get that, but you're not protesting anything like important.
They're protesting all you people in cars. Okay? And you have to understand, only motorcyclists.
Mostly you're just getting
would
in everyone's
understand.
way is what you're doing.
Only motorcyclists
People that
understand
have
it.
places to go. So.
Only motorcyclists understand it. Okay?
Oh,
It's
I understand it. It's just that you think it's just that you think the world revolves around you,
motorcyclists
though.
are taking over.
And it doesn't.
Motorcyclists taking over.
Other people in cars also have
We're
places
not worried
to
about
go.
the cars. Fuck the cars.
Obviously.
They're lower echelon than you. Okay. And then you had a Chinese guy who says, "No, I'm in a car. I'm higher echelon than you." It was
No,
a
he just
pissing
had
match.
some place to go.
No, he didn't. I saw the fucking thing. He could have fucking pulled over. And
I would have
let
also
the
been
event-
irritated.
He could have pulled over and let the event pass him. Okay? And then he could have gotten behind it. He could have. I saw it. I saw the whole thing happen. I'm not going to get mad. I'm not going to get mad about it. I understand it. I saw the event.
But
and was like,
I mean,
was like,
the thing about it though is that
they
even
were all
look,
acting a fool.
yeah,
They were
I'm
all acting
not
a fool.
saying
They
that
were.
he
They were acting
did
a
some
fool.
shit that he shouldn't have done too,
Right.
but
when he ran over that dude,
look, from the beginning,
when he ran
the
over
shit
that dude,
was from the beginning. The shit was illegal. Look, if I was driving around the city and I had someplace
It
to
was
go,
an
like my
outlaw
job or
event.
something like, yeah, great. Take that someplace
an
where
outlaw
people
event.
don't actually have to drive.
When
Because
he
if I
ran
have to
over
go
that-
somewhere and you are in my way, then I am also going to
But
get
the thing is,
irritated
they
with
weren't
you.
going slow. They weren't going slow.
Like, move.
They were not going slow. They were
You
going
know?
fast.
Like,
Go
I get
watch
it.
Go
I
watch
get it. I'm
They
not going to
weren't-
run over a motherfucker.
Right.
But I'd be tempted to.
They were not going slow. They were going with traffic. But they were trying to get people away from the stunt area. Okay, that's all it was. You just got to watch it for yourself.
Yeah, I've seen it.
Okay,
I've seen it, but the thing about it is that the thing I don't
were-
like about it from the beginning is that, hey, they were just trying to be like, hey, we're going to block off all these streets that we don't really have any right to use, and just for attention. Like, fuck off with that. People
It was
have
a
to
parade.
People have to use that area
It was
for
an out-
other
it-
things.
it was an outlaw
People have to,
parade.
and like, look, the world doesn't revolve around your toddler asses.
the world-
so
the-
please
the-
move for the adults. Thank you.
Whatever.
It's
whatever.
like it's that.
whatever.
So, like, I get it. I'm not justifying him running over a dude,
Yeah,
but
he
I
ran over
get how you would be mad enough to do that. I get how
They
you would be
ran
mad
over
enough to
that
do
dude,
that.
and then it became personal. Okay?
I get how you'd be mad enough to do
And it was a unifying event. You had fucking motorcyclists of all fucking stripes, of all fucking ethnic backgrounds, going, that dude ran over a guy. You know what I mean? And they were pissed. Okay. They didn't kill him. It was, they beat him up a little bit, but they didn't kill him. Okay, so it wasn't as bad as people are trying to make it seem. And really, let's look at it this way. This event added to the biker fucking gestalt. That doesn't matter if it's right or wrong. If you start fucking with those dudes, they'll do something to you. And that's really what it was all about. Just don't mess with people.
They have small penises and very small
No.
and very fragile egos.
That's not what it was.
Yes, it is.
That's not what it was.
That's
They were just
really.
mad.
Let's be honest about it.
But what about the Chinese dude?
Everyone in this
What about the
has small
Chinese
penises
dude? No, stop it.
and tiny,
No,
like fucking, like fragile egos. This is
It
all
was-
about fragile egos.
No, that's
Yes,
a
it
woman's
is.
That's a woman's take on it. It was more about tribal.
And that's not legitimate.
No, she's being
I'm peeing.
she's being facetious about it.
I'm not
That's
being
not.
facetious.
It didn't
It's
have anything.
absolutely
It didn't
true.
have anything to do with penises.
Yes, it does.
No, it doesn't.
Yes, it does.
No, it does. See, that's how this stuff. It had. It didn't have anything to do with penises. It was just that those motherfuckers got mad at each other. They got mad. That's it. Right, exactly. John's going that the bikers felt like they were under attack, so it was them versus that other guy. That's all it was. She's trying to read too much into it. When you see the videos, it's for me it was obvious what happened. But no, it wasn't some Freudian thing about fucking penis size. It was a us versus them type thing. T says it's hilarious. T. Yeah. Right, exactly. No need for me to. It says it more about tribalism. Exactly. It was a tribalistic thing. Yeah, they're agreeing with me. It wasn't about penis size. It was more like tribalism.
It's the same thing.
It was about tribalism.
That's the same thing.
And it was a us versus them thing, and it's just a normal part of human psychology. But it is
Fragile egos.
No,
It's fragile.
the motorcycle
egos.
guys wanted to stunt, and they wanted to fucking be seen as lords of the street, and they wanted
Fragile
fucking, They
egos.
wanted to be fucking. They wanted to be fucking captured on fucking audio visual on YouTube of them going down the street on a fucking back wheel, stunting and being magnificent.
Even though in real life
And-
no one cares.
No, in
So-
real life nobody cares. It's not about the observer. It's not about the observer. It's about the fucking participant. It's about these guys doing it. You know what I mean? That they are lords of the street.
Whatever it is that you're doing.
Yeah,
no one
I'm gonna go
cares.
the rest.
No one cares. But yeah, good luck. Good job with that. Nobody cares. But yeah, like I said, everyone in this is terrible. So yeah. So he runs over. Like I said, I'm not justifying it. I don't feel good about like all these bikers. Like if they like blocked my way to work or like to Starbucks or something like that, I'd be pretty pissed too. So just saying. Not saying I would have run over one, but I might have been tempted. So I've been tempted to do that before. Somebody getting in my way. So you know what I mean. I get it. So yeah. So now they're all like mad at him because he ran over 3 bikes and 1 person. So they start chasing him for several miles. Now during this chase, Lean's wife, who was in the car, their daughter was also in the car, called 911 4 times in an 8-minute time span during this chase. Now, a couple minutes later, if you watch the video, Lean stopped for a red light, and then a biker runs up like next to him and opens his driver's side door, which I would have locked, but you know, whatever. He opens the driver's side door, and then Lean like steps on the gas again and like drives the fuck out of there. A couple minutes later, SUV comes to a halt, and there are other vehicles. There's another red light, so there's a bunch of other cars, so he has to stop again. And at this point, one of the bikers gets off the bike and takes off his helmet and hits the driver's side window with his helmet and breaks it. And at this point, they pull Lean out of his car and start beating the shit out of him. So he's basically laying on the ground with a bunch of bikers beating him with their helmets. Which, like I said, again, a bunch of dudes on one. Again, pussy. So, you know.
They were mad.
So, hey,
Yeah.
I get mad.
Yeah.
And if I did something bad, no one would give me a break. So, just saying.
Tina said this is a case of lords in my own mind. Yeah, it
is.
It kind of is. It kind of is. Yeah.
Which, knock it off.
Kinda.
No one gives a shit about
It was
you.
just
No
a
one
fu-
gives a shit about your penis. No one gives a shit about your ego. No one gives a shit about any of that. Get the fuck over yourself.
Don't listen to these women.
Get the fuck over yourself.
Don't listen to these women.
Get the fuck
Go
over
back
yourself.
and go watch the
Calm
video.
down.
Go back.
Calm down and get the fuck over yourself.
Don't listen to these women. Go back and watch the video of the guys riding and doing their stunts and their tricks on public roads and waving at the camera. They were having fun. It was just like a circus, you know, and they were just putting on a fucking show for each other. I don't fucking it's wrong, but it
To be
was
honest,
so right,
I keep
though.
waiting.
It was so right though.
I kind
It
of
was
feel like
so
the more
right.
you go to like the biker bar and shit like that, the more I'm
It
like
was-
expecting a phone call
it
that
was
you're going to
so
be
right.
like involved in
It
something
was-
like this and you're
nah,
going to prison.
No, actually, first of all, these dudes here cannot really be called bikers. They were cyclists. These are motorcyclists. Bikers ride Harleys and they're fucking slightly overweight and they're fucking listen to country music and listen to fucking Freebird and shit. Fucking Leonard Skinner. You know that's a biker. These were cyclists. They were motorcyclists. You know.
Well,
Wouldn't call
maybe
them
some of
bikers.
them listen to Leonard Skinner.
Nah. It's all sport bikes. Guys on sport bikes.
So they were just douchebags on sport bikes. Normally, you
I
don't
wouldn't
like
call them
that.
douchebags. They were just dudes on sport bikes. I got a sport bike. They were in New York. Okay, yeah. They're New York.
Everyone's kind of douchebags.
Yeah. They're
in
from New
this
York. They're from
Well,
New York.
I don't know if they were.
They were Yankees.
Because a lot of people came there from other
They
places.
were Yankees.
Too.
And Yankees are douchebags.
Thank
so
you,
you're
Aaron.
right. You're right. You're right. We're going to blame this on New York. These are all Yankee, New York douchebags. That's right. What's up, Paul?
Although some of them were probably from here, I would
No,
imagine.
no. They're all from New York.
Thank you, Aaron. Don't listen to these women. Don't share this with Tom, she says.
That's right.
The money. Oh, I won't.
Pookie was over there brushing herself. You were brushing yourself, Pookie?
Did it work?
Yeah, it worked. She was over there
Oh my
brushing.
God. You guys, if you weren't here for the first part of the
Stop it,
show,
Pooh.
she's
No.
super into. I can't brush my hair anymore without
Yeah.
her being like, hey, brush me, brush me. So I got her these little.
Yeah.
They're like little brushes, but they stick on
Yeah.
like a corner of the wall,
Yeah.
and kitties can brush themselves, and they have catnip in them. And I'm
Yeah.
kind of hoping she kind of got into that. You kind of got into that, right? She was brushing herself just now. Yeah, go brush yourself. She still wants me to brush her though. She's like, it's not the same. You have to do it. Pookie is brushing herself.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah, they're cool. I got them for like $10. There's like 2 of them, and it's like a hairbrush, but it doesn't have a handle. So,
Yeah.
and then you like just stick it on like a corner of the wall,
Yeah.
and it's like, yeah, and they can like rub up against it themselves. So, you know, that little girl is so smart. She is very smart,
Yeah.
like scarily smart. She's smarter than like a lot of people I've known, for real. I'm not even like, all right. So
We're doing good. We're doing good. How much is left on this show?
I don't know.
About halfway.
Well, no, we're more than halfway
Okay.
because there's like it's the rest of this case, and then I have one more case, which
one more case,
which
okay.
is the UK case, which is Kenneth Noye, which several people have asked me about.
Is
So
that a
we're-
big case?
Well, the
I
guy
haven't heard of that case.
I've heard of him.
Okay.
Well, the guy he was like infamous before that happened, so we have to kind of get into that because there's like a whole like fucking bank robbery shit.
All right.
But then he did like a road rage thing too.
Okay.
So yeah. So at this point, so they pull him out of the car and they're beating the crap out of him. At this point, a bystander named Sergio Consuega intervenes, and he's like putting his hand up, being like, "Let it go," which, you know, seriously, come on. So he's like, you know, knock it off. It's over now. Now, he said at that point, like, yeah, all the bikers stopped what they were doing. They stopped beating the crap out of the SUV driver. Now, at this point, though, I will note that one of the bikers did try to pull Leans' wife out of the car. Like I said, their little girl was in the back, too, or their little kid. Tried to pull the wife out of the car and said, "You're going to get it, too," or something like that. "You're going to get it, too." That's what he said. But he couldn't pull her out because of the, you know, seatbelt. So, you know, great. You know, I don't feel good about that, but okay. So, basically everybody else was bystanders were like, yeah, knock that off. Just fucking stop it. Now, at this point, so they check on the daughter. She's fine. She had like some broken glass on her from like the window breaking, but she was otherwise unharmed. Now, Lean actually had lacerations to his sides and his face, and he had to get stitches at a local hospital. A lot of damage to the SUV. The driver's side, passenger side, rear windows were smashed. One tire was flat, and the second tire was missing. So there was that. So the video of the incident went viral after it was uploaded by one biker to LiveLeak.
This shit was epic. Had it happened in the 70s, it would have been bigger than anything the Sex Pistols could have ever come up with. It was epic. But there was nothing to it, really. Forgotten now. Just shows you how much
it has its own Wikipedia page, I found.
Yeah, but people don't really know about it, though.
I don't know. I kind of feel like a lot of people remember. This wasn't that long ago. It was 2013.
Yeah.
That wasn't that long ago.
They would have made a whole subculture around this back in the 70s had this happened in the 70s. And it got
we've talked about that. Well, it's like back then, everything was kind of lo-fi.
Yeah. I mean,
you couldn't find out about stuff. Now, there's like so much stuff.
There's so much stuff you can.
That it's like, well, this is a big deal, but it's like we only remember it for a day or two, and then another big deal thing
This
happens.
shit here is fucking bigger than Sonny Barger would have ever done. Fucking, you know, who's kind of like the founder of the Hells Angels type of deal, or a guy who made the Hells Angels fucking famous. This is bigger than anything that they did in terms of fucking. Even though the Hells Angels did all kinds of shit you'll never hear about, it's just in terms of fucking in the mass media, this was bigger. But the Hells Angels did a bunch of fucking Hells Angels. There are Hells Angels members that committed all kinds of fucking crimes and shit, shootouts.
Well,
and you'll never really hear about it.
Honestly, one of the ways, because I kind of feel like in the wake of this happening, of this video of this incident going viral, a lot of media tried to paint it as like, oh, it was a biker gang and stuff like that. But a biker gang is a very specific thing. A biker gang is basically like dudes that know each other and usually, not always, engage in criminal activity together. Like, well, look, we're gonna like cook meth, or we're gonna do this, that, and the other thing. It's usually drug dealing.
Yeah, and that's only kind of because look, they're not really called gangs. They're called motorcycle clubs.
It's a club, yeah.
And the clubs are legal, all right, and they're not doing anything wrong. Inside those clubs, there are some people that are doing things that are illegal, which would cause the FBI to call them a gang. What they're doing is a lot more intense than this. But this stands out a lot more because it was very much in public. But what's weird is that fucking there was a lot of shit back in the 60s in which the biker culture is built on that wasn't a fraction of this. You know what I mean? Not even a fraction of this. Go back and watch the Wild Ones with fucking Marlon Brando. That's tame by today's standards.
Well, a lot of stuff from back then is tame by today's. Well, and that's not... that doesn't have anything to do with what was actually going on in the culture. That was
Right.
just what you saw in the movies.
Right.
And the movies were bowdlerized to a large extent. So, because they couldn't show a lot of stuff.
Right.
That was actually as much as they might
Going
have wanted
on.
to.
Right.
So, they had to imply a lot of things back then.
Yeah.
But that's not to say that shit like that wasn't going on back then. It's just they couldn't show it or they'd get in trouble. So there was that. So, yeah, that's it. Kind of, I don't know why I just thought of this, but I thought of like the fucking, what was that Ed Wood movie where they were like, where they were shooting porn?
Oh, yeah.
And they were shooting porn, and it's basically like three ladies in like one-piece swimsuits.
Yeah.
Like kind of
Shooting
posing,
porn.
like not. I was like, wow, that's super porny. And then like they
Right.
arrested them, and like I watched it on MST, and like Crow
they're
makes
criminals.
Crow makes the. He's like, wow, if they're arresting these dudes, think of the arrest they could make at the beach.
Yeah, right, yeah.
Because this was just like bathing suits that people were wearing. But they, they were trying to imply, like, look, we can't show it in a movie, but worse shit than this is going on. Like, I get it, but you know what I mean. There was a lot of rules they had to like, or a lot of hoops they had to jump.
The whole biker fucking thing is quite. I mean, they're even coming out with a new fucking series. It's called The Aztecs, I think is what it's called. It's supposed to be it's supposed to be a good biker movie. I think it's called Aztecs.
I thought that had been out.
It's been out. I've been seeing ads for it. Must be a new season.
Well, it's probably a new season because I kind of feel like we saw ads for that 2 or 3 years ago, like in the theater. So I think that's a series. So it must just be in like a new season.
But they do have some badass fucking bikers. All right, but but me fucking hanging out. Just there's also a lot of fakes. You got guys who. I show up fucking sometimes and they're like, man, he's on a crotch rocket. Because I ride a Buell, I got fucking Buells. He's on a crotch rocket. But the thing is I could fuck that dude up. He's just a fucking fat boy, you know what I mean? So most of them are not physically imposing.
Well,
Not
they have to have some kind of
it's
something
like-
to make themselves feel superior to other people.
Right. Although I'm not saying
So,
they're all
no.
not like that. They got some badasses. But what's funny is that, in my experience, the guys who are really badass don't worry about little things. They're not there for. They're there for business. They don't. They're like, what do you have? What are you selling? Fucking, how much money can we make on this? Fucking blah 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 blah. They're gangsters. They're not. They're not wrapped up in what kind of motorcycle you're riding or how you're dressed, or they're not worried about superficial shit. They want to know how much money can be made.
Well,
Whether or not they can trust you.
to be honest, shit like that seems like if you're worried about shit like that, that seems to me like you're like some insecure,
Right,
lesser.
exactly. That's the way I look at it.
Because, I mean, that's kind of like that in every subculture.
Yeah.
If you're worrying about it, then obviously that is a subject of insecurity for you.
Yeah, because I don't have a Harley. I got 4 bikes, but I don't have a Harley. I would never buy a Harley. I would build a Harley, but
I kind of feel like that's an old fat dude bike.
Yeah, it is. But the thing is, I would have.
No offense, I'm just saying it's an old fat.
They're
dude.
good bikes, but I would never buy one. I would not one that was built. I would build one, and my Harley would look like a fucking dirt bike. It'd have fucking knobby tires on it, matte black with rust, and fucking it would look like something from the apocalypse. I'm not into these fucking full dressers and fucking $30,000 fucking bikes with hard bags and fucking stereo systems and shit. I mean, if I was going across country, yeah, I would like that. But that's not what I do with motorcycles. I'll fucking ride from here to the fucking bar or whatever. I would want something that's real practical. Like something out of The Walking Dead, even though what's his name's bike was a fucking Triumph. What was his name? What was that character's name? The fucking the guy fucking.
The guy that Norman Reedus.
No, yeah, Norman Reedus. What was Norman Reedus' fucking character's name in
I
that?
can't remember.
It was Merle Dixon and Daryl Dixon. Yeah, fucking Daryl's bike was just a fucking beat up old fucking Triumph chopper. I wouldn't mind having like a Harley fucking chopper with fucking dirt bike fucking tires on it, and matte black, and just real basic. You don't need all that fucking full dress shit unless you're going across country, you know. So, but no, I like Harleys. They're fucking great, but they're great at what they do. But that's not the only bike. I could never have that as my only motorcycle. You know, I like other stuff too.
John Gora says the Nudie Cuties that Ed Wood and H.G. Lewis made were made in a legal gray zone. Yeah, true. There was much harder porn being made then. It just wasn't for the theaters. Yeah, honestly, one of my favorite experiences, I actually have a DVD. I don't know where it's at, but it's in this house somewhere. And I have a bunch of like porn and erotica from the 1930s. I bought it in a store in New York City, and I thought it was like fascinating. And it is hardcore porn. It's like there's nuns, there's all kind of like shit that you would recognize nowadays. It's crude because it's the 1930s, but you would recognize a lot of the stuff from nowadays, and it is hardcore porn. So there was a lot of that. I went to, when I was in New York City in 2009 or 2010, somewhere around there. In New York City, there is the Museum of Sex. And when I was there, they had a display of like old, like quote unquote stag films. So they had like, it's 3 floors. So one of the floors was like all old stag films. And they were like showing them. They were projecting them like on the floor, and they had like all these displays like talking about them and like where they came from. And like I said, they didn't show them in theaters. They were privately distributed. And it was like it was fascinating. It was like a fascinating history. And like watching them, yeah, it's hardcore porn, but you couldn't show that in theaters. There was no outlet for it back then, but they were still making it. They were making it as far back as movies have been made. They just had like some other outlets for showing it. And the funny thing about it is that, like Ed Wood, people like that, they wanted to show some shit like that, but they couldn't. So they're like, we're just gonna like make everything kind of like implication, you know what I mean? So it's just like kind of funny how they like.
Was a friend of the show who's a friend of mine on Instagram. His name is Marcus Martin, and we fucking share all kinds of photographs. We share retro porn photos from the 50s and the 60s, sometimes 70s. They're not really porn. It's fucking pinup stuff. Beauty goes way back. And
sure.
They had fucking gorgeous. Looking at these photographs from the fucking 40s and 50s and 60s and 70s, it tells you that they had beautiful women going all the way back thousands of years ago into the fucking Roman era. You know what I mean? Just people haven't changed that much, you know. And the styles have changed, but even some of those old styles were attractive. You know. That's really all I want to say about it. Fucking, you know what I mean? You're talking about people trading fucking porn and this and that. Fucking, that's still going on now. Guys are like, oh, you ever seen this one? You've seen it's strippers.
Well, it's much easier now.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, if you seen
back then, you had to have actual film.
You had to have the film, right? But no, now you got guys in their fucking 40s and 50s going, have you seen her? And it's some old defunct dead stripper from the fucking 50s. And you go, oh yeah, she's great.
I mean, that's always been going on.
Right, yeah.
That's always been going on.
Right. And not to sound fucking ultra sexist, I mean, I'm in the fucking muscle scene, fucking working out and shit. Guys trading photographs of fucking old bodybuilders from back in the day. Well, how'd he get that big? Oh, he looks good. You know what I mean? Fucking, and that was without fucking any steroids, It's just, the human body. The human body's a potential source of fucking, beauty and excellence. How did he do that? How'd she do that? Wow, it's just,
I don't think too much about
genetics.
that. I just like
some beauty.
I just like the artistry of the photography.
Yeah.
And the form.
It's the
I don't really care about like, oh, what steroids did they take? So I don't care.
Well,
about
I'm
that.
a man. It's
I'm
just
just-
science. You know what I mean? So how did that happen?
Look, I'm into science too, but I don't give a shit about that. I just care about the fucking photograph. Is it a good image? Is it an
Right.
artistic image? Is it a hot image? Is
Yeah.
it that?
Well, it's not only that. Yeah, exactly.
You know
But
what I
not
mean?
only that, I'm talking about who is that person? When were they born? What did they do? How'd that happen? What did their parents look like? What type of fucking what are we talking about here? That's me and other, I guess you could say, collectors of fucking ancient beauty. We're trying to figure out how it happened. You know what I mean? How did this happen? Let me go to the restroom.
Tila says, Jen, there's an erotic museum in Miami too. I think there might be. The one in New York is actually quite cool. Like I said, it's been a while. What?
Look at Pookie. Look at Pookie.
What is she doing?
Oh, she woke up. She woke up. She was falling asleep back there.
She fell asleep. She has her little pile of toys over there, and she was
she's
like,
sleeping on toys.
with all. She's like, oh, all my toys are surrounding me. It's okay. We're not. She's like, what? Why are you guys fucking? Okay. Yeah. John Gora says muscle mags were fat material for gays back in the 50s. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. No Need for Me Too says love pinups and art of that nature. I do too. I like that whole pinup aesthetic. I don't know. I'm just really into that. Honestly, if there's an erotic museum in Miami, I might have to drive down there and visit it. The one in New York, I actually had a really good time. Like I said, it was a long time ago, but it's 3 floors, and I remember them having. The thing about Stag Films was, I think, a limited time kind of thing, but they had stuff about John Holmes. They had all kind of stuff. It was fascinating actually. But yeah, so it was super fun. I would definitely go back. It's just called Museum of Sex. So if you're ever in New York, check it out. Rick Shaw says, I couldn't imagine watching porn in a theater. That would be kind of weird, wouldn't it? I kind of feel like that would be weird. I kind of feel like porn is more. That's a more let's watch that at home. Let's watch that at home. There's a reason only weird dudes in raincoats would go see that shit in the theater. You don't want to publicly watch. So look, it's people watch porn, okay? It's I watch porn. It's just kind of you don't really want to do that in front of other people. That's what I'm saying. So yeah, where was I? Okay. So I said about the SUV. Okay, so all the damage that the SUV had. So as I said, the video of this incident, as most people probably know, went super viral. And after that, there was all this stuff about, it was a gang, blah blah blah. But that's kind of not. Now, after this went viral, somebody else posted a video from the same event, but earlier. From 2011. And that event showed the bikers being assholes, running red lights, they were kicking cars, shit like that. Just kind of trying to show, hey, this is kind of a whole thing. Now, they did find out later on that some of the bikers were off-duty NYPD police officers.
T
So,
never
what?
sounds sexist.
Yeah.
T
No,
never
not
sounds-
you.
Where's T? Shut the fuck up.
Not you. She knows what's up.
She's fucking funny.
She knows what's up. Me and you, Tila, we know.
Yeah.
But yeah, so 5 NYPD officers kind of got in trouble for this. So at least 2 saw the assault that happened. So a few of them did get in trouble. Now, like I said, there was a whole thing about the biker gang thing, but we've already kind of talked about that. It's it wasn't really a gang, so blah. Now, so when it goes to trial, because it did. Now the lawyer for the guy that got run over, he says that the guy that got run over, he didn't do anything wrong, which maybe he didn't. He just seemed like he was checking on somebody else and got run over. Like I said, I'm not disputing that. All he did was get off his bike, get over and try to calm everybody down. Her argument was, well, Lean, the guy that was driving the SUV, he should have honked his horn or told the bikers to get out of the way to let him get out of there because he was just trying to get out of there, which I agree. He should have done that. instead of just being like, holy shit. I kind of feel like he just panicked and wasn't really thinking about it, and is like, I gotta get out of here, blah, blah, blah. And he just, like, ran over a dude without really thinking about it. Now, I don't know if this is true or not, but the guy that got run over, a few months after the accident, he said that the doctors gave him less than 1% chance of walking again. And he said that he wasn't threatening Lynn when he was hit, which, like I said, probably true. I think he was just, like, doing what he was doing.
Did he walk again?
I don't know, actually. This is a while back. I will say, though, that the guy that got run over at the time that he was hit was actually not supposed to be driving. His license had been revoked.
Yeah. A lot of these, some of these guys didn't even have motorcycle license.
So let's say that. Like I said, it wasn't a gang, but let's not pretend that they were like, a lot of them did have criminal records, and a lot of them actually were not legally allowed to drive.
Yeah, but I'm gonna go ahead and fucking Satan Jenny's fucking looking down her nose at that. A lot of the guys that didn't have licenses were also black guys. There just was. It's what it was. Then the other
anybody that has a revoked license, they shouldn't be driving. And then I don't care what race you are.
And here's the funny thing, is that the white guys in this same group that were riding were cops. A lot of them were cops.
Yeah.
Yeah, because motorcycles transcends that shit. They didn't care. It was about who was
and the guy that got run over had also been arrested in May of 2013 for driving on a revoked license. So he was still, like, doing that shit. I'm not saying he deserved to get run over, obviously. Nobody does. Well, I can think of a few people that do. But he didn't. But he did have a revoked license, just saying. So out of this melee, 15 people arrested, 55 motorcycles confiscated, 69 summons issued in connection with this event. 11 bikers ended up getting convicted. Now, they didn't really pursue a lot of charges against the SUV driver. He did actually file a notice of claim against the city of New York because some of the people involved in the attack were off-duty police officers. So he was trying to, like, get some fucking satisfaction there. 2018, they were going to do a civil suit, but as far as I know, that has not occurred as of yet. Christopher Cruz, the guy who originally was kind of like bumped by the SUV initially, he actually got arraigned in Manhattan, charges of reckless driving and criminal imprisonment because he was the one that, like, pulled the dude out, like, you know, and allegedly also tried to pull the wife out. He actually pleaded guilty to second-degree assault and riot. He got sentenced to 4 months in jail, 5 months probation. Another guy at the scene, Reggie Chance, he was the one who broke Lean's window with his helmet. He actually turned himself in, and he pleaded guilty to felony assault and criminal mischief, and he got 2 years in prison and 3 years post-release supervision, which I guess is slightly less than probation. Robert Sims, who was from Brooklyn, he was in the video. He was the guy that was trying to open the SUV's driver's door. He also turned himself in, so at least they did that. He also was the one that tried to pull Lean's wife out of the car. Him and another guy who was an undercover cop named, he has a Polish name, and I'm sure I'm going to pronounce this wrong. Wojciech Braskov. Hopefully that's sort of correct. They got tried together, and they opted out of a jury trial. They just wanted a judge to decide it. So Sims got convicted of attempted gang assault, second-degree assault, coercion, riot, criminal possession of a weapon. He got 3.5 years. And the off-duty undercover police officer who tried to make it seem like, oh, I was just going along with stuff because I'm undercover and I didn't want to blow my cover, which, nice try. But okay. He got initially charged with assault, gang assault, riot, and criminal mischief. But he was charged with assault because he was part of the larger group that was kind of like, charged with the attack, even though he was directly involved. And he was actually got captured on video wearing a black vest that said "Frontline Soldiers." So if you've seen the video, like you know who we're talking about. Yeah.
I saw it. Yeah.
And he was actually punching and kicking the SUV.
Yeah.
So yeah. So he said that I was doing that just to keep my cover. I didn't want to like blow my cover, which, like I said, okay, whatever. Cops, man. Holy shit. And he's like, well, I was gonna try and like stop it, but I didn't have my badge and gun, so I couldn't do anything. That was another like argument that he gave. Cause okay, you know. So he got convicted of second-degree assault, coercion, riot, criminal mischief. He got acquitted of first-degree gang assault, but he got 1 year on the assault conviction, 1 year for coercion, and he got them. Those charges ran concurrently. He also got 1 year criminal mischief for breaking the SUV's window. Yeah, so that's all he got pretty much. He did get fired from the NYPD Blue, but you know,
it's
like,
New York,
like you
man.
would,
It's New York.
like you would.
Yeah.
I kind of feel like in some places you could do this as a cop and you wouldn't get fired.
Yeah, right.
Which
It's New
you
York.
probably should be
It's New
fired,
York.
though.
No.
I mean, come on. Yeah, you should. Depending on what you do. Depending. There are a bunch of other defendants, but a lot of them got plea deals. So, it's, again, not worth mentioning. So, I don't know, man. At this point, it's just kind of like... This kind of brought up a lot of stuff. Like, look, should we make them get permits? Because I kind of feel like they didn't have permits, but nobody really did anything about them not having permits. They just kind of like let it happen, even though technically they weren't really allowed to be doing that. But everyone was just kind of like, oh, well, they just do it every year. We're just like letting them do it. But when problems arose, now they're kind of thinking maybe we should like make them get permits if it's over 50 people, you know? Which, I don't know. That doesn't seem unreasonable to me. That doesn't seem unreasonable.
I'm not going to say anything.
Because, like I said, there was another incident.
Part of the thrill of those events is that they were outlaw events. That was part of the thrill why they were doing it, is they didn't have permission. Is that they were supposed to be out there doing this damn parade with all these stunts.
Do you know who else gets excited about doing things they're not supposed to do? Toddlers.
Yeah, well, yeah, of course. Nobody says anything is not toddlers. Of course it's toddlers. Of course. I'm not going to talk about it anymore.
I mean, there was this event, but then there was also this other older lady who, like an older lady, she was 78, in December of 2013, and she actually got hit by a motorcycle who was doing this same kind of thing. They were like in a pack and they were doing stunts and stuff. And she got hit, and her and the driver of the motorcycle both got killed in the accident. He was doing some shit where he jumped up on the seat and he was like pulled up the front wheel and he was going like super fast, like he was standing on the seat like that, and then he hit an old lady and he killed her and he killed himself.
Where was this?
What?
Where was this?
In New York City.
Yeah, well, there you go.
Well, and like I said, that was another thing that like made them think, hey, we need stricter permits on this
That's
kind
New
of
York.
shit, because they were doing tricks in places where they weren't really supposed to be doing it. So that's kind of thing. Well, because like the motorcyclist got killed also, and he not only killed like an old lady that just lived around there, but you know, so there was that.
Another thing that they were doing is that they were riding shit that shouldn't have been on the street, like four-wheelers. Okay, four-wheelers are off-road vehicles, and they put street tires on four-wheelers, and they were doing fucking crazy shit on those too.
Like I said, the world doesn't revolve around y'all. So other people have lives to live. We don't want to like live our lives around y'all's stupid bullshit going on in the street where we drive and walk and whatever. It's like, you know what I mean?
Go see who we're talking about. You know what I mean? It was the hood. The hood was half.
I would also get irritated. Also get irritated.
Half of it was the hood. The other half was fucking crazy fucking white people. It was crazy black people and crazy white people doing the shit. I thought it was fucking hilarious, you know. But that's my genetic makeup. I see shit like that, I just go laugh, you know.
Because you're just a psychopath.
Yeah. I don't care.
Pretty much.
Look,
I know.
Go ahead on to the next story. All right, I'm looking at Pookie, and Pookie's, look at her.
What's she doing?
Look at her over there.
Hi, sweetie.
She's got the fucking.
Why are your eyes open?
Yeah.
Her little eyes are like. She's like, what? I'm just sitting here in my like.
So we're on the last case now.
Yeah, this is a British case. Now this is a case that a couple people like asked me about, so I kind of wanted to get into this. Now we're not getting into the road rage stuff until the end because this dude did like a whole bunch of other shit like before the road rage shit happened. So I was gonna say this dude needs his whole own show, but I don't know if there's enough there for a whole own show. But you know, we'll do this. So the incident that we're talking about, the road rage incident, happened in May of 1996. But before that, we'll get into this motherfucker's backstory. So here's this dude named Kenneth Noye. Now, his whole thing was that, or the image that he wanted to portray, rather. I'm one of these, like, rags to riches business. Like, I grew up super poor, and now I'm, like, really, really successful. But he's really, really rich and successful because he's a fucking criminal, essentially. So he's from a place called Bexley Heath in Kent. His dad ran a post office. His mom managed a dog racing track. He drops out of school at 15, and he had like a whole bunch of jobs like going at once. He was very, very ambitious. He starts delivering milk, delivering newspapers. He's doing like everything he can do. Like he works in a store. He sells programs at the dog track. He's all kind of stuff that's going on. But when he was still a teenager, he's like, you know, I think that maybe I should be a criminal because it seems like pay better, which I get it. It does. So when he's still a teenager, he starts receiving stolen cars and gets a few years in, I think like whatever I think it's called a Borstal, right? It's like the underage boys prison, whatever. So he gets like sent away to that. Now, when he's 23, he gets married to this woman named Brenda, who was, one source I read said she was an engineer's daughter. One source I read said that she was a secretary for somebody that was at the Borstal that he was at. I don't know which one. Both of those could be true. I'm not entirely sure. But he starts like training as a printer. In the 1970s, he starts working night shifts on Fleet Street. And then at this point, he's like, you know what? Fuck this working for other people bullshit. I'm gonna like set up my own business. So he sets up a haulage company in Kent. And then he goes into, and this is not legal exactly. So, you know, he goes into the building trade and then kind of like property buying and selling. But like I said, not entirely on the up and up. Now, he actually also had some investment, quote unquote, in a U.S. trailer park, which made him 300,000 pounds somehow, which, okay. But he was still doing some illegal shit. So 1977, he got an 18-month suspended sentence for receiving and possessing like a firearm. So his business was still doing good though. So 1980, he had enough money to build a 10-bedroom mock Tudor mansion on 20 acres. And this is near West Kingsdown. Not really sure where that is, but that's like a big house, right? So apparently whatever illegal shit he was doing was, you know, giving him some dividends. He also was able to buy a villa in northern Cyprus and a yacht, which cost 700,000 pounds. So, you know, again, you can't really do a lot of that legally, just saying. Now, here's his involvement in one of the most notorious heists in British history. November 26th, 1923. 6 gunmen burst into a warehouse near London's Heathrow Airport. They poured a bunch of gasoline on the security guards and said, "We're going to set you bitches on fire. And then they were pretty much able to, like, by that threat, they were able to get out with a whole bunch of jewels, cash, and a bunch of, like, gold bars, all kind of shit. They got away with all kind of stuff. It was, like, the biggest heist in British history. Nowadays, this is known as the Brinks-Mat, heist. Now, they stole a bunch of stuff, but they all... this is hilarious. They stole a bunch of gold bars. 6,800 gold bars. Now, they stole this. I kind of feel like they thought that all the money that whoever the, person was that told them that all this money was there, they're like, we thought that it was going to be in cash. So when it was in gold bars, they didn't know exactly what they were going to do with almost 7,000 gold bars, right? So they're just kind of like, okay, so we have these, like, now what do we do? Because 6,800 gold bars, that weighs 3 tons. So there was that. They also stole a bunch of, like, platinum diamonds, traveler's checks, blah, blah, blah. Like, almost 27,000 pounds, 27 million pounds, rather, worth of stuff. Now, apparently, Noye and one of his compatriots, like, figured out, well, we need to, like, melt these gold bars down, obviously, because we can't, like, keep them the way they are. So he started melting some of them down, and I think he even, like, melted some of them down and, like, put them into, like, other, like, copper coins. Like, he was, like, trying to mix it together so, like, it wouldn't be noticed as much, because, like, they weren't real savvy about, like, what to do with gold bars. So they did actually melt down most of the gold bars and managed to sell most of them. Now, the following February, there was a guy who was the security guard at the place who was actually, he wasn't a mole necessarily, but he knew about what was going to happen. And he was the one that had let them in. So he got caught, and then he got sentenced to 6 years. So after he got caught, they start closing in on the actual people that pulled off the robbery. So December 1984, they find 2 of the guys that were in the gang, and they got convicted, and they got 25 years. There was another guy that they caught, but he got off for whatever reason. Now, at this point, they're looking for Kenneth Noye. Now, that year, he actually flew to Jersey, the Isle of Jersey, with a bag that had 50,000 pounds in it. That was all in 50-pound notes. And he also bought 11 gold bars from a bank, and then he took them away in a bag and put them in a safe. So in January of 1985, a guy from Scotland Yard, a detective from there, who was looking into this whole Brinks-Mat robbery, he actually got stabbed to death on the grounds of Noye's house, because they were watching Kenneth Noye because they suspected that he had something to do with the robbery, but I guess they didn't have enough evidence to convict him, so they were just, like, watching him. So at this point, like, Kenneth Noye straight up stabs the dude to death on the grounds of his house, and he gets away with it because he says, I didn't know you bitches were out there watching me, and I thought, like, it was, like, a fucking robber or something like that, and so I fucking stabbed him. And he stabbed him and killed him. So he got away with it. He killed the cop, and he got away with it because he said it was, like, self-defense. So it was in 1985. He did get charged with murder, but like I said, he got away with it because he said it was self-defense. Now, so that happened. So then he's back in court in 1986. And at this point, they're kind of like, okay, well, we're pretty sure that we can connect him to this big, like, Brinks-Mat robbery. So the trial lasts 11 weeks. And he, at the end of it, gets convicted of at least, like, conspiring to handle gold from that particular... They didn't say he's necessarily involved in it, but they said, well, he knew about it, and he, like, handled some of the gold that, like, came out of it, so blah, blah, blah. So they convicted him of that. When they convicted him, his quote was to the jury, "I hope you all die of cancer," he said.
What?
To the jury. You missed all that. So he goes to prison for being involved in this Brinks mat robbery, which was like 27 million pounds. So they let him out in 1994. Now he managed to like keep on the DL for 2 years, but it couldn't last, could it? Because apparently not. In 1996, he came into the spotlight again because what ended up happening was that he's driving on the M25 motorway. And he apparently gets involved in some kind of altercation with another motorist, the 21-year-old Stephen Cameron. Now, I'm not sure. I don't think they know, like, who started the shit. Because, like I said, a lot of times no one videotapes the first start of, like, oh, somebody flicked me off, or somebody did this or that and the other, or somebody cut me off. Nobody, like, thinks to tape that because no one's taping it. People only tape shit later on. So nobody, like, really knows who started it. But apparently what happened was there was some kind of altercation that happened between him when he was driving on M25 and this other guy, Stephen Cameron, who was driving on the M25 at the same time. And whatever happened, it ended up, both the cars stopped. Stephen Cameron apparently got out and, like, started, like, beating on Kenneth Noye, and Noye stabbed him and killed him with a knife. Because apparently he just couldn't take it, that he got his, like, ass beat by somebody much younger than him. I don't know what that was all about. So after this happens, Kenneth Noye flees the country, and the police start looking everywhere for him. 1998, which was 2 years later, they found him. He was in Spain. And what ended up happening was that the woman that had been with Stephen Cameron at the time, his girlfriend at the time, who was only 17. I mean, he was only 21, and she was 17. And she had seen the whole thing happen because she was in the car. Now, so the police kind of approached her, and she was kind of like, her name's Danielle Cable, and she's kind of like, yeah, I'll testify, which was pretty ballsy because we'll find out why later. So she saw the whole thing. Now, they flew her out privately, you know, so no one would know about it. And she came to Spain and, like, said, yeah, that's him, and identified him. Now, the cops told her, look, you can testify against him in open court if you want to, but please keep in mind that one other witness to the incident was shot and killed in his car by someone. They're not really sure who. I don't think it's solved. But she stepped up. She's like, yeah, I'm going to testify. So she did. So good for her. So she stepped up and testified. Yeah, that's the dude. And he pleaded self-defense, but the jury didn't buy it. And he got found guilty this time, got convicted of murder, given a life sentence. Now, the girlfriend that testified had to be given a whole new identity because they weren't sure. Because Kenneth Noye, because he'd been involved in this big, like, bank robbery and was kind of like a lifelong criminal, so they didn't know, like, if he knew, because this other witness turned up shot dead in his car. So they were kind of worried about her because, you know, he had, even if he was imprisoned, he had contacts on the outside. So they gave her a whole, you know, the whole, like, witness protection deal. They said, yeah, it's like, she's fucking awesome that she came out and, like, you know, gave, like I said, she saw her boyfriend, her fiance, like, murdered in front of her, so... And she, like, stepped up and said, yeah, I'm going to identify him in open court. But, you know, they had to put her in the witness protection program after that. So there was that. So he did actually get convicted and is serving out a life sentence. And good riddance, I have to say. Because he sounds like a piece of shit. Just saying. So you're just going to, like, eat taffy.
Yeah, I'm going to eat taffy.
On the show.
Want some taffy?
Not really. I mean, if I'm going to eat candy, I'd rather eat something good.
She's acting like taffy isn't good.
Well, it's not... I'm not saying it's not good. I'm just saying that if I'm gonna eat candy, if I'm gonna like eat that many calories, I'd rather have something I like a lot. And taffy is like not really. It's okay, but it's not really something I like a lot.
A couple of days back, I went on Amazon and bought a 5-pound bag of taffy. It's only $20. Man, that shit's good. I love taffy.
That's the same 5-pound
fucking
bag I
love
bought you for like your birthday or
I think
Christmas
so,
a
yeah.
couple years ago.
I love taffy.
I know you do.
Yeah.
No one's saying you can't love taffy. I'm just saying it's not my favorite thing.
I love
If I'm gonna have all those calories, I would rather have something I really, 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 really like. And taffy's fine, but I don't really, 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 really like it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Salt.
Tila's asking what flavor it is.
All flavors.
Well, it's a variety, but what
Yeah.
flavor is that one?
Last one I had was tastes like strawberry. This one is it's blue flavor.
It's blue flavor.
Blue flavor. I don't know what flavor it is. Hold on one second. It has everything, even root beer flavor.
Yeah, that was a good bag. I remember
beer
there were
flavor.
like some good. I liked the. Didn't they have like a
Licorice
vanilla flavor? Like the
Vanilla.
licorice can
Vanilla.
eat it. I don't like
Even
that.
have
but-
like peanut butter flavor.
Yeah, the peanut butter was good. The vanilla was good. The peanut butter was good. The
they
mint,
had-
the peppermint was good.
Yeah, peppermint.
Peppermint was good.
They had fucking orange and cream, which is
Yeah, that
like
was pretty good too.
the orange and cream. Watermelon flavor.
Watermelon was okay too. Like I said, I don't mind fruity candies. It's just not my favorite. So it's like if I'm gonna.
They had chocolate, vanilla.
I didn't love the chocolate.
Yeah, it was good. I liked it.
I didn't love the chocolate. Honestly, the peppermint ones were my favorite.
Peppermint was good.
I think you gave me all the peppermint ones out of the bag because you don't like those as much.
They're my least favorite. Peppermint.
Well, see, peppermint's my most favorite.
Yeah.
I will eat peppermint anything, pretty much.
See?
Peppermint's delicious.
That one there is watermelon. Green with pink in the middle.
Tila says peanut butter. I'd be devouring that.
Oh,
one.
yeah,
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 the
peanut
peanut
butter.
butter ones are actually really good. Yeah.
Caramel and cream. They had those. You can get it on Amazon.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
like
a
I got
5-pound
it.
bag.
Yeah, I got it like a few years back, like for
Yeah,
your birthday or
good.
Christmas or something like that, and it's really good. I can't remember what the company's called, but yeah, they make it's a really good like variety
It
of flavors.
shows up and you're like, oh shit.
I gotta
I got
eat all
it back
this.
there in the
now.
man cave going, oh man. Every now and then I'll go in there and grab a handful of them and bring them out. They're really peppermint. Got that in there. Cinnamon.
I wasn't a fan of the cinnamon ones.
They're all good.
I like actual cinnamon, but I don't like cinnamon flavored things. It's not exactly the same. But the peppermint ones were bomb. That was my favorite. Peppermint ones are really good.
Some of them are just white, vanilla.
That's good too.
Yeah.
But honestly, remember, okay, so you remember like Tootsie Rolls,
Yeah.
which are gross. But remember how
I like those too.
how they have those other Tootsie Rolls that are like flavors that are actually kind of
Like
good?
vanilla and
yeah, like the
and
vanilla
orange
ones and like the
yeah.
orange ones and
They're
the
good,
strawberries. Like those are good. Like actual, like what? Okay,
That's
what
just
the
taffy,
fuck?
though. It's just taffy.
What the fuck flavor
Yeah.
is the chocolatey?
It's chocolate. Chocolate.
Is it?
Yeah, it's like fudge. It's fudge taffy.
It's not like any fudge I ever ate. Sorry.
Well, it's retro.
Tootsie Rolls.
It's old flavor. It's
But like the
old
ones,
fashioned.
like the vanilla ones are amazing.
Yeah.
Like, because sometimes they have those around Halloween, and those
Yeah.
are really good. But like the Tootsie Roll, like the quote unquote chocolate ones, yeah, fuck that. Oh,
They got flavored ones.
those are gross.
They're good.
But the vanilla ones are good.
Oh.
The other flavor ones are good. Lemon taffy, yeah, there you go. I don't. Do they have lemon in there?
No, not now. Not in that batch.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Tila says I love some peanut brittle. Damn, now I want some.
Yeah, that's good.
Oh
too.
man, I haven't had
Yeah,
peanut brittle in a long time.
that's good.
God damn, I love peanut brittle.
Yeah, that's old school. I like old school tea.
What? Peanut brittle's good too. I like peanut brittle.
Tea. I like classic candy. Old school candy. Excuse me.
You having problems?
Motherfuckers getting ready to blow up.
Are you gonna blow up right
Yeah,
here on the
blow
show?
up. Yeah.
Ooh, everybody stay tuned. He might explode.
Now, I like classic candy, you know, fucking taffy. I like fucking peanut brittle, like you said.
I like peanut brittle
fucking
too.
Bitter Honeys. Remember Bitter Honey?
I like those too.
All the old man candy. I fucking but the thing is I was eating old man candy when I was a little kid.
I could tear up Werther's Original.
Yeah. Old
Those
man
are delicious.
Candy. I eat that shit.
And the fucking
Dots.
butter rum lifesavers.
Yeah.
Bitch.
Butterscotch. Pieces of butterscotch.
Yeah, I like
fucking
butterscotch.
things. Yeah.
Like some of the old people candy, I can't hang with, but a lot of it was like butterscotch and shit like that. Yeah, I'm all about that.
When I was a kid,
I don't hate.
growing up in Southern California, there was a lot of Mexican candy that I can remember. The little fucking, the little green, white, and red umbrella suckers. Those were good. The fucking salted prunes candy that Mexicans would eat. I eat that too. The little fucking dried shrimp. Just anything you get from the Mexican store.
Did you get stoplight candy?
Yeah, I don't know what stoplight candy. What is that?
It's kind of like those dots that were on the. You
On
remember
paper?
this? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of like
all
that.
Little dots
but,
on paper. Yeah.
Yeah.
They had all that. Yeah. I was talking to Khan about old school Mexican candy, and he could barely remember those. And he and I are the same age, but they had those in Mexico too.
Yeah.
Just whatever they had in Mexico back in the early '70s, they had it in Southern California also.
We had some of that stuff too in Florida.
Did they?
Also.
In Florida, they had it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So we were eating that.
It's just like I
We would go to
said.
the store and get Mexican candy. We'd also get fucking Jolly Ranchers, the sticks. They had all those sticks, all the flavors. Fire stick, watermelon sticks, peach, lemon, fucking watermelon.
Watermelon's
We
the
had
only
all
good
those
one.
cherry,
Seriously.
lemon.
Well, cherry's pretty good too.
everything. We had all those. And the little fucking squares, the Mexican stuff. And then we had stuff like Toffee Fay. That was, we were going to be fancy. Going to be fancy, high class. You're going to get Toffee Fay. That shit there was good. It was a little fucking...
They still sell that.
They still sell it. It's a little fucking semicircle of caramel with nougat, a fucking almond in it, and a dollop of fucking dark chocolate on top of it. That shit
We
was
got
good.
some of those like before we went to the movies like a few months ago. At like CVS. And they're delicious.
They're still good.
Yeah.
The one that I'm fucking still looking for was one back in the 70s. It's called a Reggie bar. Remember Reggie?
I don't think I remember that. What was in it?
A Reggie bar was fucking after a baseball player. I think he was a Dodgers. And I remember he was a black dude who was a fucking baseball player. I don't remember his full name. It was called a Reggie bar, and it was a round patty of fucking caramel with I think it had some kind of nuts. What do you call those things? Not almonds, pecans, with chocolate poured over them. So it was like a turtle.
Okay.
But we called it a Reggie bar, and they don't make them anymore, as far as I know.
Thank you, Janet.
What did Janet say?
$20.
Thank you, Janet.
Drinks on me.
Thank you.
Oh my goodness.
Does anybody know? If
We
they-
don't need any more, but okay.
Yeah,
Thank
does
you.
anybody know if they still make Reggie bars? Because I'm looking for.
I
Reggie.
kind of feel like we haven't. I mean, we'll look online because there's a lot of like old school candy stores
Yeah.
nowadays because a lot of people are like nostalgic about that
It
stuff.
may have had Rice Krispies in it, but that would have been $100,000 bar. So it
Yeah,
wasn't
that was the one.
It
Yeah.
had. I think it had pecans in it. I think.
I mean, that does sound good.
That's like a turtle.
Rice Krispies and pecans thing. Well,
I think it was
turtles.
like a turtle.
Turtles didn't have Rice Krispies in them,
No,
did they?
no. It was,
Yeah, turtles was
I
just
think- I
like
think it was a
nuts
turtle.
with like chocolate poured over like in a turtle shape. I thought.
Yeah. Somebody's saying no, not anymore. Reggie Jackson. That's what his name was.
That's right. Yeah.
Reggie Jackson. Right.
I knew that sounded familiar.
Tina said, now I want a Butterfingers. Yeah, Butterfingers. Is
Ooh,
good too.
Butterfingers are good too.
What about Chicos?
Ooh, they're good frozen.
What about Chico Stick, which is a Butterfingers kind of without the.
Okay, I
chocolate.
remember those.
Chico Stick.
But that's when I was
Used to go
really
fucking
little.
crazy on those things. They were
Okay,
cheap
fine.
as shit. They come in little.
Tila
packets.
said Snickers is my favorite. Yeah, me
Snickers,
too.
yeah. Well, that's everything.
And honestly, like, well, Snickers has everything.
Yeah.
And Snickers, if they're frozen,
Yeah.
are perfection.
Well, Milky Way is better frozen than it is fucking soft. I like Milky Way's fucking.
Honestly, a lot of candy bars are better frozen. I kind of feel like a lot, like Snickers, Milky Way, like fucking
Peppermint Patty.
Peppermint Patty. Yeah, I was just gonna
Patty's
say,
best
really good frozen.
Yeah.
And even like the Girl Scout cookies, like the mint Girl Scout
Yeah,
cookies, freeze that shit.
frozen.
It's way better.
Right.
I was just reading an article today about somebody making the argument that cold cake was better than room temperature cake. I'm like, bitch, you're not going to get any argument here, obviously.
Well, we've agreed.
Cold and frozen cake is way better.
Frozen cookies are better than.
And frozen cookies are better.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, even the cookies that we get from Dollar General.
Yeah, they're better frozen. That's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just better. It's just better. I don't know why. It's just true. Baby Ruth is my favorite. Yeah, Baby Ruths are good too. Honestly. Snickers can be a meal, sure.
Take 5 bars. That sounds familiar.
Oh, Take Fives are good too.
Yeah.
Take Fives, I think, are the ones. I've got those a couple times. Now, are those? Do they have pretzels in them too? I kind of feel like they also have pretzels. Like they have nuts and Crispies. They have like everything in there.
Yeah.
But maybe I'm thinking of something else. But I've had them a couple times. But yeah, they're good also.
Reggie Jackson bar.
Yeah, Reggie Jackson.
Man, I
that's
haven't
right.
had one of those in forever.
I don't think they make those anymore.
It was
do
a
they?
turtle, basically.
Mm.
It was a turtle. If I remember correctly. But they still have fucking toffee fay.
Yeah, you can still get those.
still get those.
At Walgreens and CVS.
Yeah.
I've seen them.
Yeah.
They're like on the bottom shelf.
Right.
But we bought them for movies before, and they're delicious.
Yeah, I was eating that shit in the fucking AMC theater. Goes, these are exactly the same.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you know.
They used to sell those things in a fucking box that big. There's like fucking 20 of them in there.
Now it's kind of like, well, it's like a long thing. There's
Yeah.
like, how many of them are in there?
About 6.
There's like 6 of them, like
Yeah.
in a long thing. Yeah, they're still good though. Twix, yeah, Twix are also
Yeah,
good.
that's everywhere though.
Sarah Headley says Bueno is really good. They're hazelnut and chocolate. I've seen
I don't know
those.
those. Yeah.
And honestly, hazelnut is one of my favorite things. So, I think I've had those before.
Yeah.
Not sure I freeze my special cake to last longer. Do like eating them fresh out of the freezer like that. And then John Gore said ice cream cake was my fave as a kid. Yeah, me too. Honestly, I was kind of like, I was all into ice cream cake, and I loved marble cake. You know what I mean? Like when you marble like the vanilla and the chocolate together. And it was always better. I don't know, man. Like pies, I kind of feel like pie is better when it's like warm, but with cold ice cream on it. But cake is better when it's cold.
Yeah.
I feel like.
Yeah.
It holds together better. The flavors are better. I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy, but
Okay, so if you guys have any questions, now's time to ask the questions, and we can get off into that. If not, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna shut it down.
yeah, because we're kind of hungry. You hungry? I'm hungry.
Yeah, I can make something to eat too.
What are you gonna make?
You want some peanut butter and jelly?
No.
That's all I have.
That's all you have?
Yeah. I can do it on toast. What were you talking about?
I don't know.
Like
Something not sweet.
something not sweet? I can come up with something.
Fudgy the Whale before Chucky Ratsky like Fudgy the Whale. I remember that. That was like fucking Carvel, like the ice cream cakes.
How about grilled cheese sandwich? I can do.
That kind of sounds good.
I have stuff for tacos.
Taco sounds good. I just don't really want anything sweet, and I kind of feel like peanut butter and jelly is like sweet.
Okay. All right, I'll come up with something.
Like they're good sometimes, but that's like kind of sweet.
I have stuff for ramen. But
Ramen's
I don't
all-
have any meat to put in the ramen.
I don't care about meat. Do you have any
No.
eggs?
Yeah, got all kinds of eggs.
I like ramen with eggs
You
in
want
it.
ramen with eggs? We can
Yeah,
do
that
that.
sounds good.
We can do that.
Tila says, Tom and Jen, I'll see y'all in about 2 weeks going on vacay, but
Are you
I'll be
coming here?
back. I'm sure she would warn us if she was
okay.
coming here.
Yeah, you're like, I would see you too. Were you coming here? No, she's going to leave somewhere we won't see her.
Aw. Well, you have a good vacation.
Yeah, you have a good vacation. Yeah.
One of these days I'll have a vacation. I don't want to take a vacation in summer. I'm going to like wintertime
Never.
when it's nice out. But
All right,
yeah.
go ahead and shut it down, Jim.
All right, we'll do that. We're going to go have some ramen.
Yeah.
Hopefully the show wasn't too off the rails.
Yeah.
But it probably was. Whatever. That's just kind of what everyone's kind of expecting at this point. So, everybody have a good rest of your evening. Have a good tomorrow. We'll be back Friday night for the Sidetrack show. We can talk about whatever the hell we want to talk about. So thanks for dropping by, and we will see you guys on Friday evening.